this matchup once already this year. This time coming onto the champion stage, Fnatic are not the kings they used to be, but RRQ, oh my goodness, they look great in Pacific, and their region is the only one that are undefeated so far at champions.
Yeah, many of you at home voted for that undefeated streak to continue. Sunset Bind taken away, maybe not so surprising. Fnatic though opt to pick the Ascent.
Some
they
will be
are 1
upset
and
about
3
that.
on this map in stage 2.
Some will be very frustrated with Fnatic picking Ascent. I'm hoping they can bounce back on it because they were such a trendsetter bringing the Chamber into that map around Toronto. And like I was mentioning prior, RRQ let Ascent through constantly, and they're 1 and 4 on the map. They have not looked great there. They've made multiple comp switches. They're even trying to play Tejo on the map, still not working. So I think that if they continue to flounder, even if Fnatic aren't at their best again, maybe they can just still beat a weaker RRQ.
Similarly, yeah, RRQ been really testing a bunch of different comps on this map. They tried the Waylay. Now it looks like they're folding in Tejo and Yoru to try and see if that gets them any value, like alongside the Sova. So this map, for me, is proof of how the teams have been working in the offseason, in the lead up to this event. This is going to be a great fruits of their labor demonstration start series.
The Abyss, obviously an unknown. It wasn't an amazing map for either team at the beginning of the year. I want to kind of even rate Fnatic's lower than RRQ's, but bit of a toss-up. And then Corrode, I'm just thinking about the X-Sparrow versus Talon. 20 kills on attack, 20 for 5 on just attack Viper. He has been amazing this last stage. I rate him so highly. I think he's playing the best Valorant he has all year as of late.
This really worries me because we look at the map pool, and for me, again, I think it's the weakest map pool for Fnatic ever in the history of their organization. And when you look at the 3 maps they have to play, usually they get a crutch. They get their Lotus, they get their Haven, they get their Icebox, they get their Fracture. They get one map where it's traditionally they're the kings of. And in this, they are not the kings of any of this. This is just a completely new territory.
All right, like I'm favoring them on Ascent, but it
Are
has
we
less
though? Are we?
Well, yes, a little bit, but it honestly, for me, has less to do with their level and more to do with RRQ just not having an identity there, not being able to figure it out at all. At least Fnatic have an identity, but also, do they stray away from it? Do they give up the Chamber and move on?
I love the Bind ban, because if Bind was in there, that would have been, you know, the Fnatic home ground, the Fnatic thing where they are good at. And now they don't have any strong maps, so this is a tricky situation.
I love what you said, though, off camera or off mic as we came into this, that this feels like a true rematch. Like, neither of these teams have changed materially in terms of personnel since that event, and I have flashbacks to just watching Alpha Year destroy RRQ on that Ascent defense side. Always seemed to be exactly where he had to be. The Chamber is something I'm going to be looking at very closely if that's what we get from Agent Select here. It's a style I think Fnatic can definitely lean into. Just play extremities, answer with strong contact against this faster early round coming out of RRQ, and see if you can stop them in their tracks.
Fnatic are going to be in so much more danger against this RRQ in this map pool than they were in Toronto. This is an experienced RRQ. This is their second time on the global stage.
Alpha Year's playing Sage. It's a Paper X. This is a Paper X.
I mean, the Sage was very old on this map and is now back and is very new since the recent buffs.
You have Sheer Wall and Sage's Wall, and you've got extremely good stopping power for anything that approximates a fast hit into either of these sites. You could get those slow orbs down, be a real nuisance, also block off that catwalk to Cubby hit when RRQ get on the attack side.
When this Fnatic comp, they're starting on attack. When they get the spike down, this comp excels at being able to stop floods coming back in, which is something that you want to, try to do with your Tejo. Able to get that spike down, get into the sites.
They got experience, right? This the last time they played against Fnatic, the Chamber, it caught them off guard. They've never seen it before. We've never seen it before, heck. But this is the comp that Paper X play in their own region. You got to be pretty happy if you're RRQ.
They do have the experience against it before, an experience in which they took an L, so maybe they can bounce back and prove that they've learned from that loss against Fnatic.
I'm looking at Jamkin as well. He will have to be able to draw out some of this util for Fnatic. Honestly, on both sides of the map, even if RRQ, if they want to push out for info on their defense side, they've got to be careful. They're going to probably have to use their tail pretty liberally. Stealth drones into mid, try and get a fuel for Fnatic safely. And they've got to play ahead of retake scenarios. They do need to play up on these sites. They need to anchor aggressively here and make it so the center util can't lock him out of the game.
Oh, what an exciting way to start here. I can't wait to jump into Ascent, and I can't wait to throw it over to your casters, Mitch and Tom.
Well, it's the champs' debut for RRQ, who are back for revenge against the team that ended their run in Toronto. Rosters, well, they look the same, but we've got a new map pool, and with Corona and Abyss already locked in, this is going to be an exciting matchup.
Yeah, I think also just you look at Fnatic going into this map in general, their strengths haven't really been there, and sure, a pretty hefty defeat, struggling on that attack side when playing versus this comp for RRQ, but defensively on this map they've always been pretty good. So defense side start for RRQ, this could be a very different story, and you've now lost what is that Alpha aggressive entry playing on the table and replaced it with a Sage. So I want to see what sort of attack side ideas Fnatic have, because sure, I think this comp will be great on defense. Will it be good on attack?
Defensive ideas from RRQ and the pistol, firing squad in mid, waiting for that spot. A few shots fired, but none landed. Only Fnatic to make the first move. As RRQ just have to fall back now, play that more defaulty play, mid a bit more open. And looks like they might even be thinking about going in towards mid. Certainly with the reveal, here's some util following it up. But a lot of this is posturing from the defensive side. They're trying to make a favorable engagement happen, find something when the reveal pops off, but Fnatic are quick to deny it. Again, back to covering their bases.
Fnatic are renowned for this slow style. It was mentioned by Wire, and I agree that getting into those post plants, they're going to be tough to beat, especially in a pistol round. That wall is going to be devastating, but they are walking into a stack up. 3 players on this side of the map. They're slowed as well by that smoke being into position. Actually, Alfia doesn't look like he's going to use that wall for the post plant at all.
Oh, he's going up into the window as the exec comes through. Kayak already dropped, and here's Alfia's opportunity. He's being spotted, still manages to find one. He's pulling it back into this opening pick for RRQ, but an immediate response from Fnatic puts them into a 4v2 post plant.
Yeah, this is going to be tough to break back in. That double entry is huge, but Alfia still on the wall, has been caught out. Chronicle in a fairly open position, but will just opt to fall back. Utility not really available for that attack, but a singular paranoia for Munye.
Could get them back through. Chronicle's just got his flashback online. There's the shot from Jemkin though. Crashies, who is desperately low, is down. And it's the 2 players in Boathouse who have to pull this off. Chronicle with a pistol in hand. It might not be the classic, his signature weapon. He will find the kills nonetheless and put Fnatic 1-0 up.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the players I want to keep an eye on, because even when they were in 4-4, you did start to see Chronicle coming back to that championship level. And we know that if they are going to be a contender in this tournament, he needs to be on. Like, he is that player that I feel like desires to win more than any other. Solid start for him in the pistol round. Already seeing an idea or two, but I'll be honest, that idea at least I've been seeing since 2020.
Obviously, we had some slower weeks from Chronicle over in EMEA as well, but he certainly found his form towards the end of the season. But that was something Uber was saying, you know, across the board, it's felt like regular season stage 2 has been that little bit of a drop-off for Fnatic. But this is their chance to put their best foot forward in terms of opening matchups. In Champions, they've only lost to 1. It was their second appearance. Obviously, they've been to every single champs. It was back against 100 Thieves. Other than that, this team is usually undefeated in the early stages. In this round, they certainly should be getting away with it fairly clean. 2 pistols, so a big margin for error, and only classics that are up against.
Fairly hefty rotation, but they're not actually within the site trying to use the smoke to cross over, but it's something that Fnatic are well aware of. And while blink and you miss it, Chronicle already up to his 3rd kill of the round, just 3 away from finding his ultimate already. And they're also farming up a lot of the orbs onto Alfia, wanting to make sure that that res is going to be available as much as humanly possible. For Crazy Guy, well, you either want to try and do damage or ideally die to the spike. That's not happening.
No, they're trying to buy time for Alpha to come back and grab that kill, but Crashies, his hand was forced in the end. They come in with 2 pistols. They leave with them as well. A flawless round from Fnatic. Big money builder early on. You look at RRQ. It's not a round that they should have had much contest in. They very nearly dropped
Escucha,
Chronicle. I don't think it's the end of the world, but this next one, this is going to be telling. We need to see them get off to a flying start. Do some damage, win the round for sure. As, you know, in terms of the Ascent, the last time these two teams faced, it was pretty convincing in Fnatic's favor.
The other thing as well, I think more Integra is actually their last match when they played versus Paperex. They had a 1-11 attack. So this defense has to be solid because whenever they've done even reasonably well on this map, it's been a defensive-sided half that's done it for RRQ. So that'll be the focus. This is where they now have the weaponry to play with Chronicle. Even after a pretty stellar early start to this game, he's going to be left down to just a Stinger, and Jemkin, well, he's going to be able to escape and have his teammate double up onto Alfia. A great start for this round.
Not bad at all. Exactly what we needed to see. Fnatic being put in their place early on with that advantage that RRQ are bringing to bear. And as you said, with the defensive side expectations we had. Rifles are left though. 3 of them with an upgrade. Naked from a corpse, some move towards this A side, but plenty of numbers here for RRQ. Full utility online towards this side, and 40 seconds on the clock. Time to make a decision, and it looks like they might be making the right read.
The thing is, that was their own Thorns. It felt like Crashies wanted to push forward.
30 seconds left.
But his own team's Thorns have blocked him out from doing so. Fnatic like to run the clock low, but I wonder if this is just turning into a save. 20 seconds left on the clock, the spike pushing forward, but everybody else still with so much space to take. Boaster down.
15.
And yeah, this has to be a save now, but it still seemed like, at least up until Boaster went down, they were still challenging for this round. RRQ with a chance to keep this one nice and clean. And the only thing is, because it's their first round victory, I don't expect them to hunt too much for these remaining guns.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worthwhile just hanging on to what they've got. Even that one Guardian they've now got left with the upgrade for Crazy Guy. Because he will just carry it forward. Hey, listen, that is a godsend of a round for RRQ. Great early fights, already showing dominance over that mid control and the patience on display late. That's what Fnatic were trying to force out of them, was a little bit of an overextension. Someone playing too aggro, someone giving the chance for this squad to find a weakness, find a site to push into, but it wasn't given away. The discipline on display gives us a 2-1 scoreline. The full buy back in for Fnatic, ult's close to being online.
That was just a bonus, so even the couple of guns saved and a little bit extra is going to put them into a good position. Rez already online, so they can now be a little bit riskier. Saying that, the shock dart that's been sent through early from Cushy has done a lot of damage. I imagine the heal has already been administered, so Chronicle will at least be back to 100. Again, ground to a halt. This defensive setup is incredibly passive. They're not trying to give any of those openers on the other side, and because of that, with somewhat a lack of initiation at times, Fnatic are just having to contact into this one.
Straight through the side for utility, they will go. That's the problem, a lot of reactive util in play for RRQ. The salvo coming in from Crazy Guy still has one left to play with. Reveal comes in, the spams can now fire right back through. Very oppressive in terms of the util, the positions that RRQ are playing in as well. It's making it a bit of a headache for Fnatic. And with that extra time bought, rotation through from Jemkin, mid fully secured, and Fnatic are going to go for this late control. Alfier wants to push deep into the spawn. He's got a guy on the rotate, trying to cut it off, and he'll grab one. That's the res online, but Crashy's double, and Boaster clearing out the rest of the site. What was a very labored round in terms of the time being bled out of Fnatic's clock has ended up being a huge success for them.
Yeah, no, just their entries into that B site were sublime. 2 players at the back of the site being picked off in rapid succession alongside the rotations being cut off. I was a little bit nervous because you have Alpha with the res, and then he's taking a solo fight alone on the other side of the map, but it's clear that the other players, the ones with utility, they're actually going to be able to put you into place, so you can't really afford to leave anyone else behind. For Munyet, there's not really much of a choice. Just try and hold on to the gun. They managed to keep all 5 players alive in the previous round, so there's definitely going to be a purchase up for RRQ, but it's one where you kind of watch this round and go, it's difficult to say what they could really change because they had their players in the right place at the right time. It just seemed like they lost every single fight.
Well, that's it, right? Obviously, we're on board with Alpha for this cross kill, but it's on the site when Crashies is able to find a double in quick succession. Those players on Boathouse trying to trade out while Boaster lurks in the
Very
smoke.
good discipline right there. I love to see
They
it.
had the rotates. They had Jemkin
Strike that
close
down,
by
Phil.
to
That's a
support the
compliment.
site. They had the smoke to cover their cross in, or so they thought, but weren't expecting Boaster to be there. And well, that's a very early upset for RRQ, but the reality is they still have the money. Jemkin's come in, operator in hand. This is the benefit from having such a clean previous round, but that position from Boaster, it's sneaky. If Jemkin steps back out, if Cushy tries to cross the market, they could be caught off here.
Now has the idea that there's a player in position.
Here.
Jemkin's gate crash is about to run out, but just at the last second he's able to catch that kill. Boaster not being able to spot the player further, but that will be an immediate retrieval. Wonderful usage of the salvos though. That would be the pickoff of Kayak for the second time this round. His KD taking a beating. And so are Fnatic in the early stages. They need a response, and well, Jemkin's operator has just been a game changer from an almost clean round for Fnatic. It's looking like we might get one in response.
Yeah, I love this from RRQ. The salvos there onto the res, just perfect, and again, highlighting the benefit of having this Teho in. It's a difficult agent to use right now, but we've started to see some teams making that adaptation. And we saw it in the previous round in terms of slowing down the push. Ultimately, when the push came in, they lost all of their fights, but the stoppage ability is huge. The situational, like right there, massive, pushing that player that was rezzed out of position, giving Jemkin every opportunity to pick off players. Like you said, I think that highlight has very much been the operator. It's not just the utility in play, the weaponry too. The way they're controlling this map, very nice. And I'm curious to see what Fnatic's adaptation will be, because after that previous round victory, they've still got money. They'll be able to invest here. And I think it will just be this back and forth with these clean rounds being traded, if that continues, until we finally see someone's economy being broken.
Well, it feels like we're playing the slowest game of all time right now.
Fnatic. Fnatic attack side on Ascent. Yes.
We've also just had like late round saves each time, so it's been like almost a burst of an explosive fight, but even trying to use the heal. And actually, Althea goes down because he's trying to use the heal while running away. Like, that is so unfortunate, but also just wonderfully placed utility for the side of RRQ. They're definitely a squad that seem to be improving day by day, game by game. Showed massive resilience in their victory to get into that top two. Well, those first few rounds definitely haven't phased them.
Flash, nicely done. Jemkin not able to hit the shot on the jumping Kayak. And it will be a 5 versus 4 with the big player of the previous round, the big weapon of the operator down. They try to delay with the salvos, but Kayak's already through, crashed through the gates on the B site. And he's claimed it for Fnatic. A plant now secured, a 5 versus 3. RRQ, well, you talked about the slow rounds. This was a bit more direct, but we might still get that late round save.
Well, I also think it was Boaster's paranoia that must have just been perfectly placed, because I think that was just an immediate gate crash into the site for Kayak, and it looks almost silly that he's able to get that kill for free. Breaking back into this, though, it was mentioned, it's not going to be easy. You're facing off against that Vice in tandem with Sage, and well, that's before you even talk about some of the individual brilliance currently in the server. This has been a very peculiar game. Both sides winning a lot of their rounds incredibly cleanly. And this time that pace change from Fnatic, and more importantly, catching out of Jemkin, has turned this completely in the other direction. At least, though, Crazy Guy's going to make it a little bit more costly, but let's be real, it's not going to do too much in terms of the economy.
Yeah, I liked what Boaster was doing there. Alpha was a little bit ahead of it, though. Initially, you see him clearing out main, looking for players in the corner, but ends up being at least a dent in that economy. There's your paranoia going through, and the full blinded Cypher on the side of Xfero. Not much to say about that. 4-2. But like we said, it's been clean rounds, been a couple of saves at a time. RRQ still able to buy up. We got to be getting close to a record here. so far in the tournament for the most back-to-back buy rounds for both teams. I mean, it is ridiculous.
Well, I want to see how good these teams are with the Stinger. That's been the gun of the tournament, I feel, so far, but not in this game. I think we've seen one. That was on Chronicle. Nonetheless, he's now got an operator of his own. Clearly expecting that aggression to come in. Early TP just to try and clear out Switch. The run in. Kayak's already gone down. Smoke going to be thrown back out to try and delay them that a little bit further, but it feels like now Fnatic are a little bit more committed. Boaster has made that move eventually, but is the only one out. They're still just trying to get through this choke point. Stuck by Monya Smoke. But getting out of here is going to be difficult. Alfia's got a long wait before that heal's going to be available. In fact, we'll be down to the last 15 seconds of the round if that happens. And obviously for Chronicle with the operator, all he can really hope to do is hold the cross.
There could even be a world here where they're going to group up, swap that op into Alfia's hands. Yeah, there we go. It's the right play. Give him at least a chance to trade bullet for bullet. They have got the B site wide open. RRQ, they've shown us a lot of patience on the defensive side. This time, maybe their downfall is that they will give the plant away. 12 seconds.
With Dimensional Drift online, though, I'm not worried. Like, you could just throw that in just to confirm this round. I think clearing out all of the risky angles will just make this so much easier. And playing this as a 4 versus 2 retake, I think the gamble would be is if you left it down to a 1v1 on the site. They're not going to allow that to happen. Chronicle, though, this is what I'm talking about. He's going to try and get aggressive, try and be surprising. They already know where he is. That surprise factor is gone.
Alpha, though, still manages to land a shot. They know where Chronicle is. That was the problem. It's down to the low HP player. He's healed himself slightly. He'll survive a shot, but not to the head. Cushy puts him in the ground, and RRQ convert 3 to 4 now. And Fnatic being wiped out, but guess what? They still got credits.
Yeah, of course they do. All of these rounds have been fairly clean. In fact, this is one of the first ones that hasn't for the side of RRQ, but this is sort of the issue I'm talking about. Like, a lot of the time you're going to see double or in some cases even triple initiator on this map. It allows you to get through those choke points a little bit easier. Some teams that change it up by running a double duelist. Maybe you see the Jet alongside the Yoru so that you can get that little bit of extra space. In Fnatic's round, what they're doing is, well, this one at least, placing the wall down and try and get through the choke, but the choke is the same. You're still going through that gap. And the couple of TPs not working out made it incredibly difficult to get out of that choke point. Even still, 4-3 up on the attack side of this map. Already said defense normally better. Oh, Hunter's Fury popped. Chronicle's dead to rights. Nice start, in fact. Another tag to be had as well. Not as impactful when they have a Sage, though.
Yeah, not so much. At least it will be the shield stripped away. A small benefit. And look at this. For RRQ, they've been playing so heavy on one side of the map, and it makes sense when it's towards A and your Cypher's left to hold the other side. In the last round, they had 5 players on the A site when Fnatic were pushing through. This time, it's 3 towards it. 1 of Jamkin close enough, and the ultimate set off. This will isolate Kayak inside of main, but there's no one to play on the back of it. That does feel like a little bit of a throwaway from Crazy Guy. The res is still online.
Yeah, I guess the expectation was that maybe somebody was a little bit deeper. They are wary of those salvos. That's what it is. They're using the res here. They're just expecting the salvos to just remove anybody else who's left. Shock dart over the top. Same wall. Getting ready to go, but they should be aware of this. Jemkim also holding the line into middle. Fnatic starting to fall flat once again. It's only really Alfia who's done anything. And well, Kayak now with 14 seconds, 4 players to find. And guess what? RRQ are not going to be peeking. That will be the scoreline equalized for the Pacific number 2. And well, for Fnatic, it feels like feast or famine.
Very much so. I mean, in this round, you see early pick go down, sure, but the great thing about RRQ, like you said, is the fact that they have this composition with the Teho that is now getting into Fnatic's head. You can't pop that res because the ult can come through, and even after the ult's been put in, you're worried about the salvo. Crashies is going out running backwards to take down a camera. Xfero giving the freest fights of his life. This is a time to take a break, a little timeout for Fnatic. Go back to the drawing board because it looks like RRQ are picking up some steam. They've managed to chain 2 rounds together. It's the most that we've seen since the pistol round and the follow-up.
Yeah.
But I think most importantly is the position that they've now put Fnatic in. With the 7th round being clean for RRQ, I think they took everybody out. The same here. Economy's going to struggle, and we'll see the first reward.
Yeah, I think as well, like it's just the manner in which they're winning them. I think really struggling to deal with Jemkim, currently 9 and 5 at the top of the board. His operator has been tough to deal with, but also just a lot of those utility combos. I think getting out of smokes has been awkward. I think Xfera as well with his Cypher utility has made it tough just to break through these chokes. And if you get caught in any of the chokes, you run into Teo salvos, you run into these reactive pieces of utility. It's put, I think you could tell it's put Fnatic on edge. And sure, 4 rounds on the attack side, with the compositions we currently have running, I don't think it's bad at all. I think that I'd still put Fnatic in the driver's seat for now. But if this ends as an 8-4 half, which with how some of these rounds have started to go, I wouldn't be overly surprised. That's a little bit more of a problem. So they want to try and stop that early.
Oh, round 9 kicking off. A lot of weaknesses for Fnatic. See if they can turn those into advantages.
What the fuck?
It's unlikely with Jemkin having so much impact so far. Since this operator's been picked up, he'll be a big piece of the puzzle to figure out when it comes to next round.
Portal closed.
Maybe finding some information here will help them out. Slow start, as expected. But leaning towards the B site, which is much more open.
I wonder if this is down to the Steel Garden. One way to level the playing field would be to use that ultimate, remove the weaponry. So if you sit out of the site, fairly easy to step back. It's a slow ult to activate. And then you don't lose any of your weaponry. You can run back in on the retake. You can see all of this utility being expended, set up to try and make things that little bit more awkward. Well, there's absolutely nobody here.
रात को गेम खेलेगा
Steel Garden used, but instead the gate crash
रोबोट से गेम खेल रहा है तो मैं दिया दिस और तो रिप्लाई नहीं किया
already seen the impact from Kayak, but so passive our RRQ.
उज्जल भी खेलेगा बिप्रो भी खेलेगा
Chronicle lands a double poster on the frenzy. Hold on. This is looking very winnable for Fnatic all of a sudden. The next falls quickly. Crashy's getting revenge, catches him looking the other way from the stairs for the MasterCard Thrifty. I really thought this was going to be RRQ taking the lead, Tom.
Yeah, the one thing I was nervous about was once Fnatic actually took the site, I was like, okay, now that Steel Garden is actually really impactful. It was completely meaningless. Just Chronicle hitting a lovely couple of shots. I think he even tags up the next player, which the spam, helps out Bosa. So I spoke about the potential of championship form Chronicle. This was a round that, well, as you can see, he's going to be very, very happy with. And what was it?
Game? नहीं खेलेगा आजकल
Sure नहीं है game का भी
What they thought was a setup
ठीक
ends up not working out. 5-4. Fnatic take the lead. Once again.
इसलिए VCT देख रहे हैं.
But the operator is still in play for Jemkim. He's been able to sort of dominate whenever he's in the right place at the right time, but for a lot of this map, it's figuring that out because of how slow Fnatic have been.
So the previous round, obviously playing off B side, playing a little heavier towards that right side of the map. You're in a position to try to step out of a Steel Garden or A side, fight in afterwards. The hope is from RRQ, even if that ult is used. Actually, you probably want the ult to be used. Now it's online for this round.
Yep.
Rez is there. Hunter's Fury. Fnatic have so much to work with. For RRQ.
But here it is.
One round down, they're on the B site this time, completely trapped in. This is a problem. Cushy, he's going to have a swarm of locusts descending upon him, but his weapon is back up. The flash catches, but Cushy, good for one, good for two, against all odds on the backside. He was caught by the Steel Garden. And he's the one drawing blood till Chronicle again delivers a double.
Chronicle has been impressive.
मेरा
Jemkim right.
मेरा कुछ भी नहीं है
तेरा पिंग खत्म है
मेरा सॉफ्ट है क्या
Fury, but using it might be difficult. Nice shot dart, but even still a couple.
पहले और था
They could have gone the other way, but Chronicle still stands tall. The rounds that they've been winning the last couple have mostly come off the back of him.
आजकल लोरा है पहले और था है कि नहीं
Sentinel now overtakes Jemkin. He's 11-3
हाडी पैसा
right
कमाना
now.
हाडी थोड़ा 10,000
Really overshadows the job that was done by Cushy. The fact
हम
is, he
तुमको
was
एक रील देगा
landing
ठीक है
sort of
एक
the
रील
actor, so
देगा
they
इसमें
couldn't do that
तुम
again.
उसको देख के चौंक
He
देगा
did
फिर हम तुम भी
phenomenal work. 2 kills
बन
from the
जाएगा
backside, but
पैसा कमाने
making
के
it through
पागल हो
that
जाएगा
smoke, similarly to what Fnatic was struggling with, also seemed like a death sentence.
It's just got to be great to have Chronicle on your team, man. Like we said, he had maybe 2 weeks,
Ball
maybe
event,
3 at a
most of your
stretch
match.
where he was a bit more quiet. Started out 5-0 here, now 11-3.
Gives you wing.
That op from Jemkin on the other side has slowed down. A timeout from RRQ as they start to feel the pressure. This was a game of back and forth buy rounds, slow approaches, and big saves. And now, RRQ are the ones that will have to taste the eco as they come into the next. And Force by looking very unlikely to see their economy when we get back in the game, but it should be in the bin. With a 2-round lead already, facing into an eco, this could be the advantage at the halftime locked in. And despite how close this was, Fnatic winning the pistol and having momentum towards the end, they could undo all the rights of that early half and end up at double the scoreline of their opposition.
Yeah, I think 6 rounds
ये
is
बिना
already
हाँ मतलब फ्री में खेलता है
very
एक
good
राउंड ज्यादा अच्छे से खेलते हैं
position for Fnatic to be in.
गन उठाना इंसान मार के बोल के
Everything points to
वरना से
RRQ
फालतू
having
क्या
their
गन ही
struggles
नहीं है वैसे मारो बैंच मरना तो चाहिए
on the
से
attack
मरेगा
side of
इसके।
this map, and well, a 4-4 after losing the pistol. We're talking about
बीच में
potentially
से
turning
clutch
into a great
करते
half
उसके।
now. Well,
वही तो
they'd have to win themselves this eco round to even have a chance of leveling things up.
एविस खेलता है रे
अभी मजा है
Stranger
कोरो
things have happened.
पसंद नहीं रे हमको कोरो
A good flash to start. The drone's got all the info. They know about the danger up close. Fnatic won't go running brazenly into that, but Cushy's trying to take advantage of the
मुझे
gap.
वो बुलाया हम थोड़ी देर
He's
में
being
आएंगे।
spotted though.
जिम से आ रहा होगा
Boaster about to set up a smoke.
पसंद
He looked a little asleep at the start. Not expecting one yet around that corner, but Chronicle, reliable, takes the pick. Jemkin super low as well, and yeah, the wall is tripped on B, but Fnatic have already put their eggs in this basket. The A site being taken. Next Pharaoh, tag low. Jump around from Kayak will catch him off. There is damage done on the other side though. Kayak is relatively low. They've managed to draw blood onto Boaster. RQ could make this costly, but I don't know how much impact that's realistically going to have. They needed the round win.
अरे बढ़िया तब तो अभी ठीक है
This stage as well. Damage really.
अभी हेलो अभी ठीक है वाह सेक्स हाडी सेक्स
Side half.
ठीक है
That was
बाल
something they'd be happy with their old composition, with the chamber in the mix. I think now that
तुम्हारा स्क्रीनशॉट दिखाओ स्क्रीनशॉट बोले
this is looking incredibly dangerous
केस
for RRQ.
स्क्रीन का
क्या ट्रांसपेरेंट है खुद
Looking
Oh,
forward
one
in the
more-
series, I do
Transparent
think
है।
that the map pool should get better.
थोड़ा
for
मोटा
them.
है कि थोड़ा पतला है?
Road, they've kicked
कैसा
into
बोलेगा
abyss, which I'll be honest,
थोड़ा पतला है ना?
wasn't good for either of these sides, but
Yeah.
hey, that's
Banda.
their choice.
ट्रांसपेरेंट
And
है
then,
नहीं है तुम लोग
over the last few months, they've been 1-6, so I think expectations were
गोल होने से काम होना
relatively low, but
एक्सेस
it's
एक्सेस है ना बस
very rough indeed.
मैक्स नहीं है
Oh, Jemkin, there we go. The return of the op, and of course it's Chronicle that he
क्या ना
finds.
तुम अच्छे से पकड़ना है क्या
Massive
मेरे से
scalp
पकड़ना
to
है
tank early on. Player who has bailed Fnatic out of a lot of bad
तुम भी ऐसा करना
situations.
आज ओमेन
7-5 half.
Huh?
Up for grabs.
वो ओमन
Against
लेके
the
हाँ
team that
चलेगा
sent
हर
RRQ
राउंड
out of
चलेगा
उसका one way में चढ़ जा
Toronto.
बाहर।
Grudge match. Jemkin's going back
नहीं
after a
पर
more
नहीं खेलेगा
safe
आजकल
spot
अच्छे
as
से
before.
कोई भी नहीं खेल रहा
Of course, he's got teammates
बोरिंग
covering.
है अकेले खेलने में बोरिंग है ना
Mid
आजकल
to
गेम
mid, so he doesn't have to worry about his left
मेरा
side.
बहन को हम बोला है
He's
5,000 में
covering
बेच दो
his
करके उसका रोब्लॉक्स लो
And
कर दे
eventually that fight is
डॉलर्स
going
में
to
बेच
be
देगा
forced out. Crashy, but it's more importantly Alpha with the spike. He's got two. Alpha walls up, pops the red.
अभी
Uses it
33
as a bait for another, but X-Sparrow delivers.
लेग हो गया ना
2 versus
लेग
2.
हुआ
नहीं मेरा नहीं
Spawns
हुआ
from this with the ult from Boaster. The spike will be reclaimed, but look at Munyet.
अच्छा था रे लेकिन
Given his
दो
position
लोग को
away.
मारा
Clearly aware of the potential paranoia to re-swing, but he's not won the fight.
इजी जीत गया
And now Xpera left on just 20 HP.
4-8
This will be a tough one to win, but it will come down to the timing.
Knife
If he can
nikalta
find
hi
a gap,
pro
find
hai
some
jo bhi
space, maybe there's an opportunity down to just 10. spacing. Oh, but he has managed it with barely any HP left. That is absurd.
A miracle play
That's
from
okay.
X-Pharaoh.
जो अभी मारा ना
Isolating each
Mirage.
fight, taking them down and putting 5 on the board for RRQ. A damn sight
हम भी होते
better
इश
could have been as
तुम लोग को पसीना वाह
trailing by 2.
तुमको लगता है
I love the slowdown. The slow-mo on the voice lines, but that there, that looked like it was done.
One
A
enemy
big
remaining.
swing
गान फटा
from
तुम
Alpha.
लोग
He was on fire,
हाँ.
but X-Pharaoh extinguished hope for Fnatic in this round.
अभी
अबे वो कर रहे थे तुझे
हाँ,
करना
वो
जरूरी है बोला
थोड़ी देर में आओ बोल थोड़ी देर में
After what was around the
अभी
weekend,
थोड़ी देर में
looking
बोल
like it would turn into
आ ही
an
रहा होगा वो
8-4
चिप
होगा.
गया था ना
Nonetheless, it was still a good
अरे,
half for
दिन क्या
Fnatic,
होता
so
है,
let's
जल्द-
go down with Lou, who's talking to Boosters Paris.
मैं बोला क्यों पिक कर रहे क्यों अरे वो पिक कर
La
रहा है
réunion
तो
de famille
पिक करो ना वो
continue
पिक
avec
कर
les
रहे
parents de
अरे वो पिक कर रहे तो हमें थोड़ी करना
Buster
डिफेंस
Paris
में
just
घुस
joined me, Suzanne and Gary. First
रहा है,
of all,
चला भी
welcome
Discord
to
में.
Paris. And the first question I wanted to ask you, Gary, is that we know
भूल गया
that
थे.
your son has been, handling the IGL captain responsibilities for a long while now. So do you feel like
ये
he
500
always
MB
had that extroverted, fiber in him?
कौन है बुढ़ा
Well, it's
मारा चल
difficult to say, really.
कौन है बुढ़ा
Obviously,
बोका चुदा
he just took over the gaming
स्ट्रीम करा हटी तो
हाँ कर रहा है
away, playing games in London. So yeah, I think he just
जल्दी
that's
का
where he
दम
Yeah,
wanted to
बजे तक
go.
शायद
he was
Quel
enjoying
secteur?
himself since the very beginning indeed. Donc on le sait, Buster c'est l'IGL, le capitaine, il a des responsabilités depuis le début. Est-ce qu'il a toujours été comme ça, un peu extraverti? Bah oui, depuis le début, il était à fond dans les jeux, il partait à Londres pour jouer, etc., pour profiter. Donc je suis sûre qu'il avait ça en
Buster,
lui
ça?
depuis le début.
मेरे साथ
The question now, Suzanne, is
Chelsea.
for you because your son is not only a captain, he's also
पॉइंटर देखिए
a
ऐसे
Oh,
राउंड
Buster का माँ
demon,
बाप है
especially a dancer. So what do we
हाँ,
think
देख.
about his
Buster का माँ बाप है.
dancing skills? Where did he get them
Buster का माँ बाप है?
from you?
मम्मी प्यारी है अरे अरे मम्मी
He did belong to a
बेटा
local
उधर पे डांस कर रहा है
musical
स्टेज पे
theatre
देखो
school and his
हाँ ना ऐसे में बेटा थोड़ा वो है
ballet.
टूर्नामेंट के बीच देखो बेटा हंसते में डांस कर रहा है पागल है
He loved everything.
मम्मी को दिखा रहे हैं मम्मी के साथ बेटा को दिखा रहे हैं ये क्या है ये सब क्या है भाई दो बहन सबको दोस्तों को दिखा रहे हैं ये पागल हो गया मम्मी को सोचा होगा रैंक खेल खेल के वैलोरेंट खेल के मम्मी क्या 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 ला लगा हड़ी क्या बोले तुम हेलो
ड्राइंग देखो जेट का कैरा वाला
अरे प्यार है
Love the fact that we have just shown clips of Bosa twerking to his parents. I'm sure they must look up on the screen and go, yep.
उधर को नया नाम देंगे चलो ना बॉस
बाग है उसका नाम
Getting into your
बाग
Coinbase econ report now before
नहीं
the
ना
next
अच्छा नाम
half.
अच्छा नाम
And
ब्लैक
Chronicle
बॉस
has to be the
आओ
highlight.
चल देखो
He
देखो
नहीं ना
started
थोड़ा
out
अच्छा
5-0
समझ रहे
and
एक
to
वर्ड
have
एक वर्ड
13
होना
and
चाहिए
4. The man was hard to shut down, Tom.
स्ट्रीम कहाँ कर रहा है कार्ड रिकॉर्ड पिक्चर
Really
अरे तू
dying.
डिस्कॉर्ड
Black Mamba.
तेरा अनलिमिटेड
Black
It
Mamba.
made it just so difficult. The
हाँ.
finances of Fnatic
अरे,
became
इधर
so good
Discord
all
में
the
रहे
way
और
through.
YouTube में देख,
And it was him and
bowling
Alpha,
भी
yeah,
पीछे से
that
देख रहे हैं, एक
I
साथ
feel like
देखेगा.
really put up the
अच्छा,
majority of
अच्छा.
the rounds. Of course, going into the defensive side.
ऑटो यूट्यूब में स्ट्रीम कर रहा है क्या
माइक
All
हाँ.
the same.
लेकिन
Maybe
थोड़ा
with a
delay
little
मेरा
bit more
5
from Kayak.
से 10
He's been a
सेकंड
bit
का
quiet so
Stream में
far,
देखो.
but obviously we say a lot with this
देखो क्या
attack
है
side. It's
stream.
very difficult getting into
इधर
those
है.
अभी
sides.
हरी तुम अपना स्ट्रीम निकाल दो कोई स्ट्रीम कर लेगा ना हम लोग
Same level
हम
of
दोनों में से
Like, can he
अरे नहीं
now
हम YouTube पे
be
स्ट्रीम कर
as good on the entry as he was on the defense? Because it is
And,
much.
अभी मेरा देख लेगा तुम
Oh, Fnatic! They're giving them a taste of their own medicine.
अरे चलो हार्डी कर तो सुनो
कर सकता है मेरा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है मेरे को
Instead
सिर्फ
of
देखने से
RRQ's
मतलब है
4, but they have found 2 picks and
देखो
left
देखो वो तुम्हारा
X-Pharaoh
करो
down to 5.
हम
A
तुम लोग को
much
फिर
more
सुनने
successful
पेगा
start. And one of the things I wanted to highlight, Tom, is the man we're on
Net
board
गड़बड़
with
हो
right
जाएगा
now,
ना?
Munyet, he has had a tough first
हाँ,
half.
net
And a
नहीं,
man with
laptop
high
गायब हो जाएगा.
expectations for. I don't think Fnatic will get to see this side of Munyet for much
उधर देख
longer,
रहा है कि नहीं
but for now,
हाँ देख रहा है
कौन जीतेगा
certainly a
मेरे
lot
लाल
more
बोलो
to be
बोलो
desired. And with this
Hey,
pistol,
Fnatic
तो
लाल
ब्लैक माम्बा
pistols under their belt, which ultimately,
Black
in a
Mamba?
7
फनेटिक लग रहा है
ब्लैक मामा बुला
किंतु आरआरक्यू भी अच्छा ही खेलने वेंचो ऐसा था एमएल में आके वैलोरेंट
Okay, that's gonna
क्या मारा ये
a bit of full blind shot for
आज उज्जवल ऐसे ही
their play.
दिखा नहीं.
Monyet's found another. You
ओए
mentioned
रे लक में चाटा मैं ही खा था
उज्जवल मार रहा है.
dangerous, a fight that could change it, but
किंतु हम बाल कुछ भी करके बल टॉप में आ गया
he's known for his dancing, but he'll stand up as well.
अल्फा में
सबको दिया.
अरे शेरिफ का हेडशॉट लगा था
Boaster to close things out in the pistol round. And as you said, that extra little
चलो एक
boost
दूसरे को मार रहे हैं बेंच
could make all the difference.
ब्लैक माम्बा
खतरनाक मारा
खाली हमको बिल्ली दे दो तुम्हारा टेस्टी लग रहा है
टेस्ट
It's a wild idea as well to do exactly what your opponents put into play. And we've seen this from Fnatic before.
हम लोग का लगने से भी नहीं मरता
ये तुम्हारा लड़की का है ना वो बिल्ली
I don't know what that means, but hell yeah, Garden away. Fnatic
Huh?
8-5. Strong lead, and they're up
दोनों को
against
पैसा मिलेगा खरीदे शायद से
farming those orbs early in the name of the game. You can see the crazy guys containing that A orb.
अरे डेफिनेटली
मेरा स्ट्रीम कौन देख रहा है उज्जवल देख रहा है क्या
ना मैं डिले ऑटोमेटेड एक्सट्रीम डिले देख रहा मैं अपना लाइव में देख रहा था
हां वही I'm waiting.
A bit of a ruse sold on the other side with the salvos.
कौन जीता
You can see the direction
Fnatic जीत जाएगा रे
that they fly from, so doing it from the right side of the map is important.
ऐसा
क्या हुआ
ऐसा भी बहुत
Already
खुजली
being
लगता है ना
tricked,
जब
and
और
that's
थोड़ा
going to buy
गोली मार
that
से
initially
मरता
a little bit of extra time, but they are swarming in. A lot of pressure.
मदर तो Laura देखा कि नहीं उज्जवल उन्होंने देखा
It looked like it was one bullet, 3 kills.
नहीं देखा तो थोड़ा बैक करके देखना 5 सेकंड के लिए 5 सेकंड के लिए
यार कुछ साइड कुछ डिले
Crazy guy does not.
मैं मारा बेंचो 4K क्रॉनिकल 4K बेंचो
क्या लाइन में मारा बेंचो
Crazy guy. He's trying to go around the
back. ये मारा के बेंचो
What a wonderful teammate that this guy is.
ओए एस दे रहा है इसको एस दे रहा है
The opportunity for this man.
देगा ही इन्हें अरे मत मत साले मत मार छुट्टी लो
भाग रहा है
ये स्माइल देगा
देखो ना ये देखो ना सब लाइन में
I still don't know.
Hold on. That was one
खत्म इसको मारेगा
shot.
नाइस
That's unbelievable
Hey.
from Chronicles. And that's what
बेंचो
you
लग
like
रहा है
to
पूरा
see. Had to take-
ये तो डर गए
take some notes.
I do feel.
एक ना वालो 1 2 3 4 बस
You swarm in one player, 3 of you all line up at once. That's about as cursed as it gets, but obviously it's only an eco.
ओ हां बे अच्छा है ऐसा
This is where we need to see
कभी-कभी पहले ही
change
पिक
for
करके
our
रखते हैं
Kayak. He wasn't spotted in the last round, so he's going to go for the same play.
बेचारा ये क्या बोलेगा
Then he may not find anything
और
again.
थोड़ा
Looks
तेरा थोड़ा
arrowed.
पीछे आगे करना स्किप पीछे तो डिलेड है शायद
Gate crash going to be used. Surely.
कौन मैं
It's running out of time. There we go.
ना मैं नहीं है
Back out, but Crash is out of the round.
हाँ यूट्यूब में देख रहा मैं
Take it down in market and RRQ. Use that knowing that
अच्छा
rotation will come
तुम बीच में नहीं रह गया तुम
to pressure towards mid. This is the right read.
बीच में तो कोई स्ट्रीम कर मुझे
हम भी
Numbers from the attack go that way. They could have had a duel.
नहीं देख सकते सिमी है
Heavily favored
खाली
to
तेरा
themselves. In fact, they still might.
कुछ
Boster's going to be
सेकंड
walled up here.
ओ उठा
It's an audacious play.
आई
But he
यार
goes
रे
jumping on top of the box.
करना नहीं था
The next Pharaoh in with the early punish. A 3 versus 5 now.
ये लोग को बोलता है ट्रिगर
I don't
डिसिप्लिन
mind the
बेंचो
idea, but the additional jump made it difficult. Chronicle on the other side. They're going to have
नहीं होगा भाई एवरी
at
टाइम
least a little bit of worries about that guy.
अरे
after
सही होल क्या बेंचो
Alpha,
मर गया
he's being watched. Well played by Munya. Making sure that lurk can't come in from behind. And while it needs to be a 1v4,
नहीं नहीं
this is
नहीं
going to happen.
तुम लोग से कोई ट्विच में स्ट्रीम कर रॉन्ग कर तुम नहीं
RQ patient
वांगलिंग करो
in their
हम देखते
attack.
हैं दोनों
But as we know, with how
Hello,
clean the last
Wangling.
couple have been, there's another
Hey.
buy coming.
हरामी
ए माइक ऑफ इसका
हाँ हाँ हाँ
Urgent better than the last time
बोलो,
these two teams faced. It was Fnatic taking it
मेरा
13-5.
चलो
RQ hitting 6, but they're
मेरा
facing
भगवान को पता
like you said, this is a different flavor, perhaps, from Fnatic.
गूगल
18-5.
स्विच करते
And he had a lights out start to the match.
गाना साउंड आ रहा है कि नहीं बोलो पहले
Next to no stopping him. But in round 16,
दिखा रहा
it'll
है
be a slow, methodical start from
एक तो
our
रेड को
pressure towards the ace.
Ah, yeah.
The bike still sat outside B. The salvos sent through to clear. one.
जूम है कि डायरेक्ट बस वेबसाइट दिखाई दे रहा है पूरा फुल फुल वो चाहिए
दे रहा है तो रुक आई रुको रुको दे रहा है हम देख रहे हैं अभी
फुल स्क्रीन है हार्डी
वेबसाइट है
Yeah, that
फुल स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रहा है
when
साला
that-
ओए
इधर दिखाई दे रहा है
डायरेक्ट
you
वेलोरेंट
need to
ऑफिशियल
make-
बताना
you need to slow him down, bro. Don't go to his bombs, bro. Let him tilt. Play per retake. Fucking going against me, bro.
डायरेक्ट मेन
इसका वेलोरेंट ऑफिशियल का था
कहां वेलोरेंट ऑफिशियल तो सैंक्स का
और
देखो
नीचे
देखो देखो
Going walkabout.
मामा
The
दिखा
We'll let him know that there's a couple of players to his right, but that's not who he's looking for. He's expecting some.
हारी दिखाई दे रहा है उजल
As though really seen RRQ caught by any of this. Each time they've been patient. But now with 40 seconds left on the clock, bear in mind that the Vice wall has also been moved into middle. So they have a lot of information on that part of the map. The push though.
The drone already put through on A. Alarm bells ringing. Fnatic know the hits coming in with that paranoia having landed. Kayak doesn't find much. A quieter performance continues. We look for another hero on this site. Alfier grabs some info but swings into heavy traffic. Boaster. They'll be taken out. And crashes. Okay, that shock dart makes it doable. I was already thinking perhaps the same call. But now they can go for this. I'm a crazy guy taking the fight alone. He's giving them a real chance. X-Pharaoh so desperate. That's a good way to push them out into this site. Be blinded up. It's actually going down below. Oh, it's going top. Okay, they're clearing it. Now looking to fight together with the reveal. They've seen one, they've seen the other, but X-Pharaoh lands the shot. And it's all the drop down should be deadly. A double swing, but X-Pharaoh gets ahead of the play.
क्या मारा है क्या मारता है लोग पिछले लगता कैसे है
Spike takes away. Fnatic, it's close, but I think they've got it. Double digits on the board, and you have to look at RRQ there. X-Pharaoh, that was a mistake.
Yeah, he was so good for the first fight. That gets the timing perfect on the swing, but I think maybe just a little bit of miss.
इसका नेट कवर बेंच हो उसको पता
Because as you said, this was going into a 2 versus 4. Instead, it ends up with 1 immediately taken out, and then the aggressive position of Crazy Guy. That is just a poor post plant. Like, I can forgive the guy planting the spike. You don't know that's coming. But from there, the guy's super aggressive. Then you get it into the 2v1, and from that point onwards, you just need to wait for the drop.
बोलो ऊपर है बेंच ऊपर है मेरा बात चले सेज ऊपर है मार इसका मार
In terms of economy, this has pushed them to the limit. This could give Fnatic a little bit of momentum.
picker cypher
to 12. A win here. I mean, put it this way, RQ put a lot more pressure for this round.
Perfect.
9-7, the scoreline closing in, the walls closing on Fnatic. It's looking like a sprint to the finish line for the defense.
One good thing is that RRQ have a lot of potential to pad the gap with ults. Hunter's Fury 1 away. The drone's crossing path, but not really finding out too much, and the pistol shots will be heard, but again, it's just trying to bait that wall being broken. They now look to try and move back to the other side of the map, but this definitely has its risks about it. Fnatic haven't moved. They'll catch the first, and actually, that's wonderful.
kill मिला है
2 players down. Kayak trying to rotate into position. He's hoping someone peeks off it, but they don't. Another control being taken. Fnatic can't afford to fight this. Their economy was already on the brink after that last round. They're just going to have to hold on to their guns.
Well, especially, I'm looking at that A-side take that RRQ were posturing for at the very start of the round, and I'm thinking, well, this is actually disastrous.
Me.
They run the same play.
क्या हाडी मेरा काम नहीं कर रहा है
Be a little bit more ready for that. But
Mother
if the play goes even if it goes a little bit better for RRQ, the retake with Chronicle and Crashies both now having ults, it's a completely different game. It's so much stronger, especially the Steel Garden. It would have to be convincing. And instead, they decide to go back to the beast. Push into the players who have those ultimates, into the heavier defense setup. Especially looking at Chronicle just as an individual, and then with his utility. He finds not one but both of them. That's a course correction on what was a disastrous previous round. 10-7. 3 players. They'll be able to fight for this next one.
Yeah, no, they needed all those guns. With only Crashy surviving the first round, he's the only one that has any hope for
नहीं है हाडी में बस मामा
cash. And
पैसा नहीं हाडी में बस
they
कितना पैसा मांगेगा
actually want to go for this. It's not the best of purchases if they do. They may opt to just play with the weaker guns that they have, and especially now with a Dimensional Drift Hunter's Fury combo coming in for RRQ, I'd almost say it's not worth the risk.
Love this as well. Boaster's giving the rifle over to Chronicle. He'll play with the frenzy. That's a team player right there. Chronicle's having a game like he is. You better be using the rifle. Not sure about peeking short with the frenzy, but it's all for info. Fall back. Very early use of the drone as well from Crazy Guy. They're looking to really claim this space towards middle, but Fnatic are responding. They've started to push down through B-Main.
Good night, Ade.
It's not. Oh, it is being watched actually. It's Crazy Guy just posted on the angle alongside the trip.
What's the amount they currently have on that A side?
Classroom grind कर रहे हो चला?
Chronicle, but a lot of the rounds has been.
Classroom grind कर रहे देखे.
They'll now keep wall, which again will give them information if it's shot to break, and if it's not, they'll know that position is clear, and instead they set up a firing squad around the sheer. But this is what I've enjoyed from RRQ. They've been methodical and slowly breaking their way through this utility. Information will be Steel Garden in to try and remove that weaponry, but Jemkin may be already doing enough.
मेरे DPI में खेला 1600 DPI 0.3
anymore, at least with the weaponry and this hold into mid, it could be a problem. That's a spike down. They need to run back into the hands of Chronicle. He's waiting, but he can't win the fight. Jemkin once again with another massive round individually. And for a second that looked like that could get chaotic, but it didn't even seem like a problem in the end.
Well, it definitely could have. I mean, you look at the TP from Munyet, the fact that he goes from the shadows, the fact that Jemkin is able to make his way all the way onto that side through market to spot those players in the first place. Those are the guys who would be running down mid to pressure these attackers who've just lost their weapons.
हाथ पे फैन लगा हुआ इसी उसी नहीं है पिंचो
Ends up countering that steel guard. Hunter's Fury thrown through as well.
क्या है इतना बड़ा हॉल है इसी से दो
Pushing those players out of position. Lack of comfort. 2 rounds ahead now are Fnatic as they call a timeout. RRQ starting to heat up, starting to catch up with 2 rounds in a row.
टाइम को प्ले खेलो
I mean, it's still looking pretty shaky for Fnatic. They're not on the same page fiscally. You could very well see RRQ push up to double digits soon. It's the right moment to take a timeout.
Yeah, I think as well, just like, I think that RRQ have been
दोनों हरा है इसलिए तो यूज़ किया नहीं तो देख 10-8 है
going on. Like, they know that the big problem for them will be
जीत सकता है आदत के जीत सकता है ठीक नहीं है
Thorns online, if the shear is still there, if the Sage Wall is available, and each time you're watching them methodically through the round, okay, we're going to figure out where each piece of the puzzle is, and then we're going to execute with 35-40 seconds left. Like, they still leave themselves enough time, but by that point, all of the things that make it very awkward for them are gone, because Fnatic have had to react in case they're going to go diving into the site. And you even see, I think the main one there was the getting rid of the Thorns on shore and then having that shear removed. The second that was gone, their execution just picked up pace massively.
Well, the barriers are going up once again. Timeout finished. And we've seen this trick times. It was in the previous round, and actually Crazy Guy was holding, letting them take the space, and looking to punish them as they tried to walk around or walk deeper.
हमको दे देना हम खा देगा.
Just to deny that early shock dart that's been put through, and of course, Fnatic for now have no way to know that info is online late round. It's given RRQ a lot more to play with.
अरे बिली का फोटो दो ना अभी. देखेगा अभी कैसे.
Quickly, they know there's numbers here, but RRQ have been doing a lot of posturing.
Yeah, look. That's Paranoia and Sage Wall gone within the first.
Hey, तुम्हारा बिल्ली बड़ा क्यों नहीं था?
They're not going to mind that at all.
No, they're very successful in terms of baiting out.
बड़ा size.
And not overcommitting either. Sometimes you see that work out well, half of the time. The other half, you're losing a player or two in overcommitments. That doesn't seem to be the case for RRQ. No. Very contained when they're baiting out that util early round.
No, I think they've genuinely been fantastic. Not overdoing it. Not taking too many risks. They're now going to go back to the exact position that they sort of baited out before, the slows. Will delay them at least a little bit. And there are quite a few players here for Fnatic. Weaponry, at least on Boaster, definitely not ideal. But again, this is just posturing. They now head back towards Kayak. Now, he's been having a rough game. They could definitely use him helping them out. And with the Hunter's Fury in combination, that creates a distraction. That's the spike on the deck. 15 seconds left. This one's looking a little bit more rushed. They need to get a move on. And Alpha and Chronicle at the back of this site. All they need to do is hold the line at least a few seconds. And in fact, they've already got the Thorns to do that job for them. Fnatic find their form. And of course, once more, it's in the hands of Chronicle.
Yeah, I like the start of the round from RRQ, getting towards short, baiting all of that, but the problem is, when they rotate back, having drained the utility belts of their opponents. Fnatic have 3 players close by.
Samrat ko
You hear that. The rotates are instant. You get towards that side, and then you're playing a slow. First of all, 2 points. First of all, you're playing a slow round against Fnatic. They know how to play against slow rounds. They play a lot of them. But secondly, you're running with 15 seconds left into a Vice setup. And that Vice setup belongs to Chronicle.
I also want to say as well, I want to give credit to Crashes. I think the timing of that Hunter's Fury, I think without it, they probably could kayak much quicker, and then maybe you have an extra 15 seconds on the clock to get into the site rather than 8.
Yeah, which also comes back to they heard the steps rotating away. Kayak needs to get out of there, and he does quite quickly. Telegraph from RRQ. Margin for error thinning, and already the economy on the rocks, but Crazy Guy comes in with a big ult online. Especially on the attack side.
Cheeky spots that can be denied. But this is both teams with their economy on the brink. This could be a chance for RRQ to equalize, or at the end of the day, Kayak got to go forward. Created awkward, and the openers for RRQ are fantastic. To try and deny them anymore. Crashies are hopeful at best, especially with them knowing his exact position. And it now comes down to the same decision for Fnatic. Do you risk this?
Champion 10 HP in a heads-up duel. He's not going to do it as well, so he decides to play that very late wrap around. And even if Fnatic decide to go back and save these weapons, he will be Alpha down, Boaster follows, and Crashies inside the smoke. It's soon to fade. I don't think he's got a great chance of holding on to this weapon. And he won't do any damage. It's a flawless round for RRQ. The climb back, just 2 rounds behind again, but these teams have been keeping a healthy buffer between them. If that continues, Fnatic will hit 13 pretty soon. We need to see RRQ continue this form.
Yeah, Crazy Guy's utility. From Kayak, and I'll be honest, in terms of what we've seen in EMEA, this isn't comparable. Like, he is having a really rough time on the stage at the moment. He's been caught up by Monyet, but this is a player we expect to have large amounts of impact. Speaking of another, though, that's a nice shot from Alpha here. It removes that lurking player of Xpero. Maybe gives them a little bit of extra space. The problem, though, is Crashy's already gone down in response, and the salvo will deny any.
And we're talking about pistols for most players. Kayak's in a good spot. Monyet crosses over, but he's now seeing Chronicle. And Kayak lands the headshot. An outlaw and a rifle picked up an advantage in manpower. A res online for Alpha. And Ulster wants to use it. But Kayak's already got plenty to work with. This is now winnable for the defensive side, and RRQ need to tighten up the ship. They also need a pick, and that's what Jemkin gives them. Cushy following up as well. Now a 2v2, but the res will be used. Fnatic not looking to let this round slip just yet. Flash pops, and I love the thorns to the back, but they don't get activated, and Cushy continues to deliver on the backside. Boaster landing one, leaves Cushy alone, but it's a 1v1, and with Boaster so desperately low, and the clock draining. All 5 RRQ just 1 behind.
He has been so impressive throughout this map so far. There's been rounds that have gone late where you see him run in and get a double, but this was all him.
भाई अरे तो जीत सकते हैं बोलो ना जीत सकता है बहुत काम टीम में तो भाग रखा है यहाँ पर तो क्या करेगा भाई अरे को में देख दिया था बाल मार चुट देते हैं बलूचिस्तान टीम का.
But this is where Fnatic now have themselves a buy. The last round was a lot of missing pieces, but a big opportunity. Now is where they need to recover, because RRQ have been building into this attack side.
Oh, here we go. Jemkin finding the info. Cushy finding the tags and finding the IGL of Fnatic. He will lead from the screen, but Chronicle able to trade things back, removing this extra smokes in the late round. That's going to be quite the blow. It looks like Fnatic want to get ahead of this. They've got 3 players in heaven, but a Flash primed and ready. They're thinking about getting aggressive as the Rose Garden goes through. In comes Kayak. He's found one. A wall bang on Jemkin. He's keeping this, well, at least under control for a moment, even with the pistol in play. Late around for next Pharaoh's all that it comes down to, but he's got to swing into a plant position that he just cannot deny the defuse from. 12 to 10, Fnatic edge out this round,
match point.
and they've got 2 chances to take the map.
Yeah. It does feel like every single time there's a moment that it looks like RRQ are going to get back into this. Fnatic just find an extra level, an extra little bit of form. And started with another big kill from Chronicle, but it is just the swarm of the site, not allowing them to get into those posts.
Hello, where are you, bro? Hello, where are you, bro?
Hello, where are you, bro? ये लोग का ये क्या बोलते हैं यूरोपियन
2 rounds left.
से खतरनाक लगता है बाल.
For RRQ to hit an OT.
I mean like
manageable with the economy that they've got to play with.
It feels like they deserve it. Like considering they've lost both pistols in this game. Time. Is going to get himself into the corner. Is this something that's checked?
Oh bhai, please.
Fight time and time again. It's sight Chronicle's domain.
Jemkin अच्छा मार रहा है
Chronicle has been the difference maker. Crashy's reliable. The utilities keeping them out of boathouse for now. The push comes to a slow for RRQ.
ये जो जल्दी पुश करता नहीं अंदर से घुसता जल्दी दिखा ना.
Yet the run through the smoke successful for X-Pharaoh. With Chronicle already gone, Boaster and Alpha have a difficult decision. Going for this.
ऊपर साइड किल करते हैं और उल्टा हिल करते हैं.
Jemkin's down, and it's X-Pharaoh and Munyet against Boaster and Alpha.
2v2
Oh, real opportunity. Back into the 2 versus 2. Maybe expectations that there'll be somebody within this smoke already. Alpha are not really willing to risk it, but eventually jumps through, but doesn't realize maybe.
The
TP uses bait.
Low spear.
Try and keep the once again. A 3rd kill in the round, and well, eventually Fnatic, they got the job.
But Fnatic take it 13 to 10. Revenge denied.
Next up, next up.
But up next, the shakeup in the map pool with Abyss and Corrode.
It's
all to play for.
और डिसाइडर कोरोड है. रिप्लेस दिखता है, रिप्ले वापस आएगा ये लोग जल्दी. रिप्ले दिखता है.
Because these aren't my shots, they're Milan's. Mine are in the wash. The cameraman was so shocked. I went down, I did that, and I was like, where am I shots? I had to pull it up ASAP Rocky.
Now
that I'm a mom, things are different. Verizon's different too. They let everyone in my family choose different plans. We get what we want and we save money. Love that for me.
Red Bull gives you wings.
And that's pretty here, that's it.
If you want to win, you have to win against the best.
मतलब स्ट्रीम में नहीं हुआ पर लोग ऊपर दिखाते हैं वो लोग क्या कैसे खेलते हैं. हाँ कैसे का मैच हो चुका है. हाँ कैसे जो खेला ना भेंचो मेरा माथा हिल गया था बाहर. सेंटिनल है क्या सेंटिनल्स? हारा है ना चैंपियन था. चैंपियन हारा है. बिली गेमिंग्स में क्या है? वही तो एस्पास वही तो सोचे बाल एस्पास किंतु रे बाल मारा चोट तो बाल खेलता है हम लोग का टीम देखा है बाल क्या घटेगा टीम आता है बाल साला मैं लास्ट हम लोग जो लास्ट में खेला टेस्ट मेजर टेस्ट खेला बॉटम पे डायरेक्ट टॉप 10 में आ गया टॉप 2 में आ गया साल मैं आ गया ये लोग किसी नहीं पा रहे थे क्या मैं तो लिख रहा है रे रात को तो खेलेगा कल मेरे 10 बजे को क्लास है चिंता नहीं आज तो रात को तो सकते और सब लोग का एग्जाम है क्या है आएगा आपको ए बाल तो क्या मार्क्स कर बाल पर मार्क्स उड़ा बाल ये से तुम नहीं इधर तो मेरा यूनिटेड का मार्क्स है बाल 30 मार्क्स यूनिटेड का मार्क्स है मेरा कौन है बे बाल जो लास्ट वाला को देखते तो बाल बहुत जैसा लगता है बैंक चूत
क्या आदमी है भाई हो गया टाइम आउट दिया तो दिया हल्के के लिए दिया तो
अरे नहीं ये मैं कोई ना क्या बोलते हैं आरआर को जीते थे लास्ट में पहले आरआर को जीता था
Hello, from up there. I need a wall boost of my own, not by Alpha here, but please.
कहाँ घुसेगा? अरे उसमें बल कुछ लगेगा ही नहीं है जैसा टेंशन में रहेगा ना अभी खेलने गया.
Anyway, I wanted to ask you about that Sage pick, especially since we know the team has been experimenting a lot with who.
Oh, MVP है क्या?
This entire year, so what was the thinking behind it?
ये MVP है क्या? नहीं है ना?
I think it was mostly comfortability. Like we didn't have all of the time to played so much Vice, so just shoving Alpha on like this battle stage style worked. He can wall boost himself, he can shoot, he can slow fight. We've seen it all, so yeah, it's just a comfortability.
अरे कोच लो हट्टा कट्टा हो बेचो क्या गीक लग रहा है बाबू.
Of my own, but thank you very much and good luck in the next
gamer coach है भाई.
I mean, the reason that Alpha is able to do that, Uber and Wyatt, is because Kron can just do whatever he wants.
Honestly, like Kron is doing all that stuff like late in the round.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you hide Allah.
It's like 4 2Ks, 3 3Ks, 4K and 5K. So a lot of these rounds, Fnatic are walking into short-handed. They're in 4v5s and they're able to clutch.
Guidance नहीं है, guidance हमेशा इतने बाल आस नहीं है जे.
Plays of the game, excuse me, which was just that Guardian 2K on the Thrifty round where they were heading into the B.
अरे Guardian जो रेस का मजा इस तरह अच्छा इस तरह बाल. Guardian इस वीक ना.
बोला ही था क्या?
Yeah, and
हाँ ये बाल. लक देखा ये लक है. वो लाइन पे है. नहीं लाइन में है ना तीनों लाइन पे है कैसे गिरा बाप
I mean, and it converted into an ace round. So even.
Oh, ये हक देखा बाल.
Generally, one of the most
अरे हक का बेंचर.
A lot of the work Kron did was with like these weird buys because neither team
देखो भाई
got
मैं
to
होने
set
से
their
तो
economy
हेलमेट
up. It
छूटना
was so
था
grindy, so back and forth. I mean, like, both just getting random frenzy kills through smoke. These guys are doing the most with the lead.
Hey, Joe, Chronicle का
Kills as well. There was that little jiggle swing with the Guardian on Cat. One tap someone straight away.
GTA देखना है उसका Chronicle का 3.2 माँ
He's just a guy with a gun until a post plant throws all his Zoots around. He can just focus on aiming.
Yeah, we were like, oh, how does this play
What
into
the heck?
the attack side strategy? Like, let me see this, like, Sage util if they're going to fight for space. No, they just wall boosted. Alpha just gets to do his thing, which is great. But Fnatic never let RRQ get rolling on their defense side. Really disruptive play. They didn't want to fight for B main, which...
सच्चा RRQ का कोर्स प्रो कर रहा है तो क्या पाल खेलते हैं हिंदी लोग बच्चे तो सच्चा खेलेगा बोले आरामी गेम छोड़ लो go touch some grasses बोले ये राम
कहाँ
go touch some grasses बोले ऐसे बोल दिया बोले देख लो पूरा सो देखो उसका मुंह पूरा खराब है बाल देखो ना पूरा मुंह खराब है बाल तुम खुद से बोल के आया
We know you guys as the comeback king of kings. We are still haunted by a lot of your comebacks. So I just wanted the comms that the team was able to just still retain some of that momentum even though the scores were heavily favoring Fnatic.
वही तो पिंचो रात भर करेक्ट है रात भर का कष्ट है
Good. Everyone's still calm. It's not a bad first map for us. Usually, our first maps don't go so well recently. So hopefully we can haunt Fnatic in this one as well.
Well, good luck on the next map.
This is where, you know, we could be worried for almost for both teams, but RRQ picked this, it has to be for a reason.
I am honestly, this might be an insane takeaway, but I'm feeling better about RRQ's chances of winning after watching them lose on map 1. Because this was easily their worst map in the pool of maps that they play. They came into this 1-4 on it in this stage. They kept it that close with Chronicle going crazy, dropping a bomb on them that game. Now we're going to an Abyss map, which is a bit of an unknown. They only played it one time right at the beginning of the year and lost to DFM. Fnatic played it quite a bit at the end of last year as well.
ओ भाई पढ़ाई कर रहे क्या
हेलो आवाज आ रहा है मेरा
अरे मैं उसका लेने गया था
Hazu needed to really figure it out with it coming back in the pool, and for me RRQ were just a pure question mark. Quick duel.
Hey, कोड तो लिखने वाला है कैसे खेलता वो देखते रहा मेरा
अरे उसके लिए लेकिन थर्ड में जाना भी पड़ेगा
वो यार
plays that Fnatic tried to do, like so most of the team picking top box and top mid and having the gate crashing Oro come in.
अरे वो लोग को बड़ा सा स्क्वायर
was being shut down a lot, especially by in the head to head.
मुझे उनके पसंद नहीं मुझे लंबा वाला पसंद नहीं आता
Also for Jemkin, the offing was really solid, and we're going to another map where offing is crucial. The sightlines on this map are so he can farm attack as well.
I do wonder what. This is a rare map that Alpha gets to play Jet. We're gonna get a waylay, and I mean it's not gonna be a waylay Yoru because it's kind of like
This is what Fnatic you know, obviously waylay wasn't in the game yet, but back when they were still the double initiator, they love playing the Astra on it. I mean, Boaster loves his Astra in general, and there's default comps you can possibly see.
I mean, this is where it helps RQ a little bit, right? We talk about comfortability. This is the peak comfortability.
I gotta be honest, I'm surprised Fnatic are sticking to a breach on this map.
They haven't
Yeah, they haven't locked it. Maybe I'm being baited. I'll wait another 10 seconds or so.
I think
am I being baited?
We have to, I think, double down on this waylay because this is not something we see from Fnatic. This is brand new for them.
I mean, I don't know what Crashies is kind of play. Yeah, we're actually getting.
Crashies good too.
RRQ obviously standing comp's good for a good reason. They got really great like re-clears off of the Alpha, of course. KO with those fast hits as Crashies locking the server. So it will be the breach waylay look here for Fnatic.
Right back to life after a slow start on map 1 and a lot of first deaths. He's going to be getting a lot of supportive utility pumped into.
स्मोक है सेंटिनल रखे डबल इनिशिएटर ये तो क्या है डबल इनिशिएटर बाप रे बाप
He is going to be critical in turning his game around for Fnatic to win on a map where historically they don't win very often.
Almost never.
Yeah.
I am surprised that Alpha doesn't get to play that Jet. You would think with the form that he's on and how well he's been fragging out, that's the double here, but I'm not gonna be mad about a waylay debut on the side of Kayak. Mitch and Tony made this one.
देखिए इसको मास्टर मत करो.
Well, I've been convinced by the Waylay, I'll tell you that. I think in terms of what RRQ are bringing, we've already seen how this can be punished, I suppose, here on the map of Abyss. I'm curious to see Jemkin, and if he has the same struggles that we've seen before for Team Liquid when it came to that attack side, in terms of taking that space and then doing something with it.
The only thing I'm sad about is the bit I liked about the previous Waylay we saw was that there was a Yoru to go with it. Like, there was always a 1-2 punch. Like, this is a solo Waylay, and actually running the comp in the past, Althea was actually running the Jet. So it was like you had that double duelist that I think worked wonderfully for Fnatic on that attack side. And obviously there's benefits of having the other util, but
I must wait a moment.
I don't know. I kind of wanted to see the double duelist flare come out of Fnatic with that Waylay in play. We'll see what ideas they have, at least for now.
और प्ले लिया.
Walkabouts.
बाल कायक को नहीं ना कुछ कर रहे हैं. प्ले.
Fnatic starting out confidently.
बड़ा big deal.
Been there to punish them a couple of times on the previous map.
Bridge.
Doesn't actually catch him. It's Jemkin to find a pick, but it's traded back by 2 and slowed down in the re-aggression through mid. RRQ.
अच्छा कायक information लेने गया था बालों.
Get up! Oh, the time under the stairs. I thought Fnatic would be safely out of there, but yeah, Kayak has been caught back to a 3v3.
He's just holding the angle, but doesn't manage to land.
Still
definitely not done yet. Bear in mind, Fnatic won both of them so far, and that was seemingly the difference maker in terms of the rounds in the last map. Players of RRQ grouping up this B site, and after a little peek in that direction, it feels like this is going to be a free plant, and they're going to be as far away as humanly possible. I don't know what information they had that this was going to be an A hit, but whatever it was, completely.
RRQ have also done a great job of keeping the utility here, Munyet not burning up a paranoia.
Heaven smoke इसलिए करना चाहिए. कोई करता ही नहीं heaven smoke हम लोग का.
More to work with when it comes to this post plan. I'm curious to see whether this was going to be used in an aggressive way with the position of Jemkin to try to paranoia him through when they hear the retake, but instead playing back on the side.
They got both the shock darts and the recon as well, so there's a lot available for them.
Paranoia line
to try and have their
sweaty
lineups. There's the paranoia just to kind of keep him safe in the corner. It does mean they know he's there. Crashing already. Potential, but it's just going to be the firefights for Crazy Guy, but it's working. One found already within the Smoker's Chronicle. He's trying to continue from, and immediately it's going to land himself. It's whether or not he has it. It was incredibly close for another Chronicle miracle. But instead, it will be RRQ taking the round.
And we know how good he is with the Classic. We saw the Ghost in the last map, and now the Sheriff here, but 0.31 of a second stands between them and success. And this, as you said, was the difference maker. When you look back on the previous map, they won. Fnatic won by 3 rounds, and they got a 4-0 start in terms of those pistols and follow-up. It's all the difference. Maybe it will here for RRQ as well. This is, you know, you look at Ascent last time, that was when Toronto, they were 13-5 on it up against Fnatic.
अगर नहीं है तो मदद को कटेगा मर जाएगा.
क्रिसिस का फेस गेम देख के क्रॉनिकल्स को दिखा रहा था.
I'm curious to see in the rifle rounds how this comp is going to play out, because like I said, there was a lot of
you could bite it. How did you bite it now?
For the role that Jemkin is playing.
Oh dear.
पता ही था.
They gambled on one side of the map. They got the side of the map wrong. They don't want to give the orb.
पता था ये लोग ही करेगा. अगर लोग से उधर नहीं आएगा तो मारेगा.
Economically, not bad for RRQ. They get
सेव राउंड था उन लोग का.
Any of the orbs for it. That will put them 2-0 in the lead though. With 4 rifles onto the board. There's even an argument for buying up a 5th one, but they'll keep themselves the marshal. Set up very early in towards this B site. It seems to be their favored of the two thus far. We'll see if that continues throughout the map.
Line में मार दे मेरे लाल. बहुत खुजली होता है.
Stunned hell. There's no way Kayak's getting super on the back of it. No, they will just sit and wait. But here comes a dive from Jemkin.
Kayak बोला ना.
She gets out. Has his refract to go back, but doubtful that's going to be used.
भाई मजे से स्मोक कर रहे हैं उधर आराम से.
They've made it now into a 5v4. denying the plant. Oh no, it's not. It's on the other side of the box, pardon me. Pussy's able to get the plant down nice and open.
Yeah, I guess they didn't expect just him to plant almost in front of them. It's a bit of a gamble with this. It sets them up nicely into the post plant. All 5 players from Fnatic and still a decent amount of utility. Recon already being sent out to try and clear some of that backline, but in fact it's a much deeper post plant. Spams is the aim of the game. A 1-for-1 trade, but bear in mind what they lost it on last time. It was the time, it was the clock that went already. You see the fragment into position. At times starting to tick down once again, and they're only just getting onto it. The shock dart is going to go through, but it's missed. I don't think it's quite as close this time around. They will be able to get it done. Fnatic have a round, but if that shock was a little deeper, they did not.
Just an inch to the right, and that's a completely different game. Yeah, that's unfortunate for RRQ, but they make that one crazy competitive after losing opening pick and then pushing into the site in a 5v4. Numbers against them. And they managed to run that clock way down, that flash popping just a millisecond too late. This is expecting Crashies to have pushed up quite that aggressively. Now, 2-1, but the damage done in that previous, it's eaten away at a few of the credits. Full buy for RRQ though, nonetheless. And a slow defaulty approach from them.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Look how passive they are on B. They've not taken any of that early control, so even the aggression that's come out from Kayak is not really going to tell them too much. Shock darts even being put through or being taken, like the okay, Barsova's on this side of the map. Likelihood is that's where the push will be going. Does make me a little bit nervous that the drone re-clearing. Oh, this is wonderful. They've sold a double fake. They've moved back, so then when the drone goes through, of course, Fnatic are going to rotate another player back to the other side of the map. Still having 2 players here, though, and the drone contact scurry back to the A side.
Decision then, when you see this utility come through from Alfear, do you stick around, do you look for the fight, or do you simply back off? And it looks like he's made the right call! And Crashies, he didn't think inside the smoke, but he has been taken down. RRQ, I mean, Fnatic tried to deny RRQ the opening pick, and they still get it. That's a crazy unlucky fight for Fnatic.
Look at Alpha as well. 1 HP, like the spams have done so much damage to the side of Fnatic. It's going to be a difficult one. They're still going for it. They're still trying to make that space. Kayak's actually won the opener. That's not a bad way to find themselves back into the round, but it's this late wraparound from Mumnia that could cause them problems. The fight on the site actually going. The way Fnatic and an old school cam and the spike is going to be a nasty surprise. It means once again they haven't been able to get on it. Have they heard Mun yet? No, they haven't. But he's going to be caught.
इसी राउंड में घूमके क्यों गया बेंचो
अल्फा मरा ही नहीं देखो 1 HP में
वही तो घूमके क्यों गया बेंचो क्यों किया साला जितना ये लोग राउंड था लगा एक शॉट खेलता ना
It wasn't even the tag, it was just a wild spray through. Guesstimating Crashy's path out of there.
This is our map! We have a map! We have a map!
Nice retakes, boys.
That was a big conversation on the desk, right, about how the eras, the previous eras of Fnatic have always had a home ground. I think the most prominent in my mind is always going to be Icebox back in the day. They don't have that here.
I would say Lotus, but you know.
Lotus, I mean, it's more recent. It's not as niche. I like the age.
Well, already. Taking a casualty. For the weaponry, well, the only rifle that's had is going to be the those stingers. Well, I've got it in map number 2. Shot dart out, but a single bullet onto any of these players would be certain demise. Even still though, the time ticking. And that's already been a bit of a burden so far for Fnatic.
It's been a much better start for Munyet, and it looks like he'll have pressure on him again. stun lined up and fired through. Here comes the flash. I'll be caught by it. Hunter's Fury, though, sent through as a response. Drop down is good for Boaster. They'll find the first. Munyet surrounded. Picks his fight from the corner. Boaster, though, putting the pressure on, and Munyet will be taken out by the outlaw. Fnatic on the back foot, but the lead is now theirs.
Yeah, they've looked better and better as the retakes have gone on. I think Boaster being able to bait the player in main, the Hunter's Fury, not quite having the impact that they would have desired. Even still, from a low buy, it's not bad, but it's the committal of the ults late that definitely makes me say that it's a bit more costly than you might think. You look at 5 Stingers and you go, okay, that's fine, but the loss of the Hunter's Fury...
Listen to me, Jake, I'm trying to tell you something. I can't move, Alpha.
Oh, it worked anyway. 3-2. Retake after a retake after a retake, but RRQ, well, they probably feel like the B site after it being half a second and a slightly missed shock dart. Might be
Broken,
Jemkin though already in, taking the space, but Kai's there to punish. We've seen this before. He just gets out, happy with his opening pick, with the advantage claim. The spike making it to backside. Down. This time they try to deny the wrap around from Munyet, catches them in that transition period, and it's a 4 versus 4. RRQ have a late flank from Xfero as well, covering all their bases. There is still a that ult's not quite going to hit Munyet up in heaven. Xfero and Munyet both finding theirs. And then now that flank putting so much pressure on Fnatic need to be quick, they gotta run forward. There's gaps in the play and RRQ are exploiting them. 3-3 now, leveled back, and it seems difficult to separate these teams in the early stages of any map.
Yeah, no, I really like that every round we're seeing a variation of those late flanks coming through. Like, they haven't always been successful, but this fight for Xfero was everything. And I think Munyet and his positioning has been sublime. Like, he's the reason they win this round. He's able to get a little pick on the corner, and then maneuver up top outside of the ult.
अरे भाई को सॉल्व कर सकता है, मुंह से पक्का निकल गया जैसे उसका निकला था, क्या नाम था, माने ना, हाँ, कांटे
That trip's taking a worryingly long time to set up. If they had swung that corner, that man is certainly dead, but hey, he got it done in the end.
Already you can see they've spotted Boaster, and they know with the knife popping that no one is on the site. Very quick to take the space.
Well, there's the trip.
Jemkin's landed himself up top.
वही तो बाल एकदम सिग्मा मोमेंट.
Hunter's Fury active but denied immediately. The ult from KO taking all the abilities, all the ulties away, and buying so much time. It's Fnatic.
Wait,
they've got so much util for the retake, but that clock is going to run low by the time they can use it.
Well, it has been running low every single time. Munyet faking out the idea, and well, Kushi's just swung into them. He knew where they were. This round was looking done, but it's left all on to Munyet. He's been revealed. They know where he is, but he wants to take that fight, and he will not win it. Alfia onto the defuse again, and this time plenty on the clock to be able to get it over and done with. But I'm just looking at Boaster. What was the third kill? Did that player get pinged and I didn't realize it? Because from him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's straight through the smoke. Even the second, he was lucky to survive. Dribble will catch it from his POV, but there were a lot of shots fired his way. It looked done. One through the smoke. Another player whiffs. Take Kushi. A good job that reveal went out just before Patrick went down.
Hello, bro. Munyet, hello. How do you think, brother? Hello, brother.
Hey, I'll say that the last guy who waved at Munyet had a bad day.
But वो लोग grudges नहीं रखता, वही है, वो लोग chill है.
Alpha, he's clearly feeling confident down on that stage. We're going to have the Blade Storm activated for Jemkin. Deep play towards the A site for Fnatic early. Control. RRQ hasten their pace as a response. Straight through mid. there's two players quite passive on this B site, ready for the fight. Crashies slowing down the players in mid, making a bit of an accordion effect. This is leaving more isolated battles. Alpha here dies after just one though. With that utility down, the player covering the cross to site out of the round completely. They now have to focus in the late round and take a look at this play coming through. You've talked about the late round flanks.
Yeah.
Well, Mun might have the best one yet.
He's low on HP, so he has to pick his moment. The rest of the team have been able to place themselves in the back of the site. Chronicle with might even be able to just rolling thunder them all off the map, but they are waiting. They don't want to overface, they don't want to get aggressive. They are giving the time for Monyet to make potentially the play of the round. He's watching everybody. It's a little bit messy, but he'll still get the one. Not quite as much as he would have hoped for, but the rest of the players have still been
जिंगिल को देखना बॉल शॉट में है पिंचो ये भाई कुर्सी को देखा कुर्सी को देखा पिंचो क्या मार रहा है
समझा मैं ऊपर का वो नंबर
It really is a perfect storm of parity here on the server. But Kushi,
this is spot.
ओए खाई दो ना खाई दो
in the post plant, he's able to deliver, and I'll tell you what,
Champions का ना
Alpha here might be regretting his words now. You're gonna keep losing retakes. Well, not this time, says Kushi. 4-4. Neck and neck, and this is where RRQ should be retaking the lead.
Oh yeah, there would have to be.
मुझे इसका वेंडल चाहिए
वेंडल तो मेरे को चाहिए लेकिन कैरम भी चाहिए मतलब दोनों चाहिए खरीदना चाहिए था भाई
Most likely a bit of both.
अच्छा होता है भाई क्या इम्पोर्ट है भाई डिफॉल्ट वेंडल उनसे मजा लगता है
towards the A side. He's playing in mid, obviously trying to avoid any of the KO utility if it was thrown through. Of course, Kushi getting so many kills that he already has that null command back online. And the support that Alpha has is just the jiggle peak of Chronicle. It definitely leaves him out to dry, but when you have a buy like this, you have to take risks.
Well, the thing is, you've heard the cam on A. You've heard the drone go through as well on RRQ, and obviously the response here from Crazy Guy was to drone it himself, make sure they haven't taken the space. And now they're starting to expect those rotations to come through. 4 players outside it. Only Crazy here to stop them, and it looks like they have done a remarkable job. Now the thing is, that trap's still online.
हम डबल स्ट्रीम कर रहे हैं
Alfie is far enough away to not get caught by the null command, but they will find it before they run out into it. Late flank being set up as well.
Discord में sound क्यों नहीं आ रहे?
He goes down, that is a rifle gifted over, but Alpha is going to have to really tick all the boxes to clear it out. Saw the pistol, but Alpha lands the shot. They want to be patient on Fnatic, but RRQ get ahead of it. They're playing aggressive, finding the double. A big advantage now.
Yeah, I think most of the danger is gone. Alfie is the one piece of the puzzle. Well, nobody's going to find Crashy's corpse, that's for sure. And for Alfie, Eric, then...
आप जानते हैं RRQ को पोटेंशियल है इन लोग से जीतने का इसलिए चिल्लाता है जानता है यार इसको देखना बहन जो भैया भाई तुम पूरा चिल आगे नहीं जाने का मर जाने का
अरे बॉम्ब से मरेगा
I very good you're my guy
5 on the board for RRQ, the lead reclaimed, but I think most of us are expecting
अब फिर से आया है तुम लोग गुड नाइट क्या
if they're calm for the economy or the way they're playing.
अरे दीदी को
हम लोग गुड नाइट बोल के आ रहे
I want to give credit again to RRQ for how methodical they are in these moments. Like, even when they use the null command into the site, they're still checking for those trips. They know that that's one of the main dangers, is just a kill trip somewhere on the corner. They're checking and pinging to the cams. Like, they are not aggressive in the way they're very enjoyable team to watch. Set play though, being thrown in for Fnatic.
कंसोलर मैप में आसपास का इस देखा लेकिन आसपास का इसकी कमी है आसपास का इसकी बड़ा है अरे कोस्टो बता
सब लाइन में आ गया
अरे कोस्टो बोल जल बोल
ये हार्डी जब से चिल्ला रहे मैं बुरी नहीं पा रहा प्लीज 2.0 टकरेट
हाँ तो फिर क्या बोलना चाहता है तुम
लो
Now open as
पिलू 2.0 आ रहा है
Boaster getting his rifle out. It looked like a
Costo to फिर ले लो
he'll end up
पैसा नहीं भाई
Okay, well throughout this,
लाइव देख ले से
I can understand why you've seen a kill on the other side of the map.
नहीं आया
The expectation
टीजर
they
आया
go the other way.
आया
वही ना टीजर ट्रेलर
Now
मतलब
started to claim some
अलग अलग है भाई
positioning, but it's a little bit labored. It's given an opportunity
हमको देखना है नाइफ कैसा है
to get out.
नाइफ नहीं आएगा तो पिलू का ऑलरेडी नाइफ है तो
And Boaster's been wrapped
अरे नहीं और क्या ना 2.0 नहीं होता है गांडू
आएगा क्या
हाँ 2.0 गांडू अरे उन्हीं का नहीं उन्हीं को 1.0 वो क्लॉट अभी वो है कटना आ गया
massive risk. He's just trying to make his way into the site, and Crazy Guy, well, it's been too long. He started to realize that he has to be coming in from behind the tower.
हाँ हमको भी लग रहा है
Reveals his opponent's position.
बूस्टर तो निकल के रखा है अगर बूस्टर निकल के रखा है हाँ पता ही था पता ही था पता ही था पता ही नहीं निकल के रखा है मुझे पता ही नहीं
And another retake of sorts.
मुझे पता ही नहीं निकल के
It was a Hunter's Fury.
मुझे पता ही निकलेगा ये
मेरे को स्ट्रीम का आवाज क्यों नहीं आ रहा है
I think that's going to put so much pressure on Boaster. The fact that he goes for the tap, not trying to bait out the ultimate instead. Trying to bait out the player. It was a great read. But this guy would still be sticking around up close. That could have played out very badly for Fnatic, but instead,
शाम का बात नहीं है मेरा कुछ वो हो रहा है
is denied. The IGL's on his feet.
हाँ बहुत सारा हाइड बहुत सारा
Good game so far as well. And at 5-5.
बहुत तो डिस्प्ले करो कनेक्ट करो यार इनका हमने तो ऑलरेडी बटन से साइड आउट
This round may well be a fight for the lead.
प्रीमोडियम नहीं था
At halftime.
They're going to take some early space. It will be spotted.
नाइफ लो फैंटम लो
A
फैंटम
little bit of patience. Jemkin still looking like he wants to challenge this, maybe expecting a reaction. The A-site split, not something we've seen too much of. It's a very tight angle to try and make your way through. That's why Crashies is just happy to try and hold this one. Dart up, stun, keeps them locked in, and well, the players attempting to make it rain, they're kind of stuck until they get through this choke.
ये मैप जीतेगा
I've done a great job so far on the attacking side.
अरे आरआरक्यू को देखा है पूरा टारगेट कर रहा है
Utility. It doesn't feel like he's getting a lot off those.
यार आरआरक्यू का मैप है ना
Constantly being destroyed.
आरआरक्यू का मैप है ये लोग डेटा है ये मैप में एक बार
Push through. It will be the same again.
He's using this Fnatic to clear mid.
Fnatic group up here. 4 players moving into heaven.
बाल देखना कैसे इसलिए
Chronicle though good for the duel. In goes the Hunter's Fury. It's a narrow laneway. Doesn't land for more than the one though. 4 versus 3. Oh, Magnet! He's just delivered
दो लोग को मारा
managed to find him, fall back, and then the trap on the other side reveals one of the last players, Boaster, the one that was unknown. Alpha will be caught.
अरे पता ही था ये जीतेगा क्रेजी गाय ये बेंचो जो खेलता है
Munyet's having a game. Every single time it seems like when he's in the right place, he delivers. That will be the lead. Pick back up. We mentioned it. It was a close first half in the last map, and the pistol was what made the difference. It seems like
luck है
again, of course, RRQ were the ones to take it in this one.
क्या क्वेश्चन में आया ना हम लोग ऐसा अटैक क्यों नहीं आ रहे बेंचो
वही हम लोग नो ना
Fnatic in this round, this series for Kayak has definitely been a nightmare one. But yet to really see him deliver on either the Yoru or the Waylay. And what is a fast-paced take once again for RRQ.
Jemkin looking to harvest souls, caught by the stun, yet he still survives. Kashi again, but it's Boaster with a double, breathing life into Fnatic.
Kayak crisis.
Still on the back foot. And it got down just in time. That shock dart landed just a little bit too late. And Crashies, he'll have no more chance to play with the bow. Last man standing Alpha here. He's got a classic now.
मैं तो बोला कि बूस्टर अभी तक
अल्फायर
Not actually.
क्या खेलते हैं
Certainly ended up with a better rifle.
That's what RRQ have been so good at. They're not going to give him a single fight, just jiggle peeking, baiting him into taking awkward positions. He doesn't have anything to play with. And look, even at the end, the cam will be what decides the round. Making sure that there is no fight to be had. The half will be won by RRQ. And well,
इसका हंसे देखना
stopped all shield those retakes from happening again and again.
जेमकिन का आंख में थोड़ा वो है प्रॉब्लम है अरे ब्लिंक करते रहते हैं वो अरे कंटिन्यूस ब्लिंक करता है हमेशा देखना जेमकिन का आंख में देखना
ये लोग सब में आंख में चश्मा है पेन छोड़
तेरा भी लगने वाला है तू लिया नहीं है भाई वो अलग बात है
हार्डी शाम को लगा है अब सही बोल ठीक है ये लोग एशियन है ना एशियन में देखना है ना ज्यादा चश्मा लगेगा ही ज्यादा है
How did you discover RRQ? What gave you, faith in them and want to follow them? Donc première question, c'est étonnant aussi d'avoir un fan de RRQ, une équipe qui vient de si loin.
Je suis tombé dessus un peu par hasard en Corée du Sud. J'ai regardé un match, ils ont gagné. C'était preuve de résilience, c'était juste incroyable. Pour le reste de la régulière saison 2020, je suis allé à tous les matchs. C'est pas compliqué.
जो फ्रेंडशिप वक्त में मजा आता सुन के बाल आर्नो का
Following them a bit randomly, I went to the arena in Seoul and I loved them. They had like such a big
ना फिलिपिनो है क्या
all the tickets for their future matches back in 2023 and I never stopped following them. So that's
वियतनाम से है शायद से वो वियतनाम से है शायद से
be a tough question, but I want to ask you, what is
ना आर्नो क्यों नहीं है आर्नो को वो है तो
are you going to go for PA for Pacific? C'est quoi la meilleure
नहीं मैं ज़्यादा जानता ना आर्नो के मे बी मलेशिया नहीं तो ये है फिलिपिनो मलेशिया नहीं तो फिलिपिनो दोनों से होगा
Stop है कि नहीं? Même la meilleure équipe du monde au Pacifique.
बोल
तू कब पढ़ेगा नेक्स्ट और
Pacific?
हो गया
So yeah, maybe I will
जाएगा
say
अठारह देर बाद
I have to stick with my boys from our
अरे सोलह पढ़ाई को स्टॉप क्या पढ़ाई करते हैं
Who do you think will carry this Abyss maps on the side?
कौन सा जगह नहीं तुम पढ़ाई क्या फायदा तुम्हारा
J'aime beaucoup Xero et j'aime beaucoup Ewok aussi, c'est des pierres angulaires du projet et ils sont là depuis le début. Et c'est sûr qu'ils vont faire quelque chose devant, c'est sûr, c'est certain.
So yeah, I love Xfero, I love the coach too. I think they are really like Stone Miles in that team, like very, very strong player and coach. So I'm definitely rooting for them. Merci, Maxime. Thank you very much. And let's get back to the game.
अच्छा टाइम आउट ले लो
भाई कल DRG क्यों हारा बे मैं DRG को सपोर्ट कर रहा था बे
मैं कल कुछ देखा ही नहीं क्या होगा
डेमन 1 हार गया डेमन 1 को सेंटिनल खिलाया पता है ना दोनों सेंटिनल खिलाया
वो सेंटिनल कितनी सट्टा अच्छा से बोले से उसका लगा स्मोक शॉट वो अच्छा है टीम वो अच्छा है
भाई वो साइफर और वाइस खेल रहा था कल
अरे वो चिल्ला खेलने आदमी है वो जो नहीं अगर वो सेंटिनल खेलना तो संभाल करता है
उसको नहीं देना चाहिए था वे सेंटिनल एटलीस्ट स्मोक देने से भी हो जाता
हाँ ब्रेम ने कास्टोन से अच्छा है उसका
They need to make sure that they close this one out.
आसपास और क्रॉनिकल
This is their best chance so far.
टेंस भी कंसिस्टेंट
इविल जो काटा करता है
के साथ नहीं मिलता है टेंस का भी ना पुराना टीम के साथ नहीं मिलता है
इसलिए तो नहीं खेल रहा है रिटायर ले ले जानता है नहीं मिलता उसका भी प्लेस्टाइल मिलता ही नहीं है
कहाँ पे स्मोक वो करना पड़ रहा था
नहीं हम अगर बोलते हैं ना टेंस ज्यादा खेलते हैं इतना एक बार
They have the read right. Wow. We see a lot of this defensive side.
क्या हुआ
The B side. It certainly seems like for the moment that's where Fnatic want to take it, but I am seeing Boaster clearly.
अरे मासूम क्या
मेरे को गेम खेलने का मन कर रहा है वही जरूरी गेम
एक दिन हमको भी चाहिए फुट्टा होने से भी पहले
चलो सब खेल कर चलो
पढ़ेगा थोड़ा पढ़ेगा उसके बाद आएगा अभी मैं भी हुआ है अभी कौन पढ़ेगा
अरे मासूम क्या ओ पुकी बस ओजी
देखा वो
मारा
already, but he's the last healthy player. Alpha down to 25. That's Sheriff. Six chambered up against him, and it's
Booster.
a big play from the IGL.
RRQ जीतेगा फिर भी जीतेगा डिफेंस में ना जीतेगा ये मैं पर RRQ का
competition where they had that double duelist, a lot of the time
Very
they were behind as this hard glove from afar and basically not allowing you to push across the map. This though was a different story. He completely took the A side on his own.
Booster left hand is it advantage.
A brilliant round from Boaster. We mentioned the importance of pistol rounds in the last map. They're even in this one.
अरे भाई भी जल्दी तक फॉर्म लोग जाकर फाइटर नहीं है अरे
कोई डैमेज भी नहीं लगा उसको
वही भाई अपनी डेटा का भी
खोस मिल गया मतलब खोस मिल गया मास्टर
They will be forced into the retake. How do you want to play this? Especially towards mains. Not a bad idea, but conscious of Mania. Just smoke them all. Want to stay a little. Nakama spotted them. They know exactly where to fight. RRQ have all the info. They're putting the pieces together. And it's
last player.
Rumbling down.
बुस्टर के पास गाड़ी नहीं है Wait, what the fuck?
I'm not sure that's the way they really
और बोलो जीतेगा
बूस्टर
क्या है छोट वो हगा है वो एक्सरो हगा है एक्सरो बहुत गंदा है उसके पास गार्डियन था भाई गार्डियन था उसके पास कैसे हगा वो हाँ
क्या
गार्डियन उठाया था वो
बहुत गंदा थ्रो है ये
वो लोग
हाँ आराम से कर सकते हैं
अगर थोड़ा लंबा स्विंग भी करता ना तब भी मार देते हैं लोग को बूस्टर को बूस्टर थोड़ा लंबा स्विंग करता है बहुत छोटा स्विंग किया कायक है रे कायक जाएगा किल कर
अगर ये गिर जाता ना
a 5 versus 3 that investment for Fnatic paying off.
But that was the man we wanted.
हाँ ट्रिप वापस खींच लेता है इसको
Missing throughout the majority of this series.
अगर ना अगर ये हेवन और
कैसे एंगल चेक करते देखो एंगल चेक देखो कैसे चेक करते हैं
There's a gap. A spot for him to take a fight, but look how passive making this one interesting for sure. Themselves that night, but now already that time being to Boaster and Chronicle.
बूस्टर खेल रहा है बूस्टर
कुक कर रहे हैं बूस्टर कुक कर रहे हैं बूट हग रहे लोग
ये वही खेलना पड़ेगा मैं जो क्या एजेंट है भाई हम लोग का तो ऐसे वाल नहीं लगता है
He's gonna have a duet with Rihanna soon.
Imagine being the guy on the other side of the stage. That is literally like a parent embarrassing. Boaster's parents are in the crowd.
Time out clear.
Look like the embarrassed child
Exactly.
8-7 and a timeout from the defensive side of RRQ. They need a moment to gather themselves after what they've just witnessed across the stage.
After Angels retired,
ये लोग का रिटेक नहीं हो रहा है वही प्रॉब्लम
energy and is just taken over. Within his map.
कोई सेटिंग चेंज कर रहा है अपना
Still not out of the realms of possibility. There's only a singular round between them at this point, but that was a bonus round where in the prior only a single player had survived, and that was Boaster. And even with some heroics from Kushi, he's been having a great game overall.
बनाओ भाई बनाओ पहले इंस्टाग्राम में फॉलोअर्स गेन करो उसके बाद आएगा यूट्यूब में
अरे मैं तुम लोग का इंस्टाग्राम है ही वो ऐसे यूज करता नहीं लोग पागल
Teams falling into the lower bracket with Billy China #1 currently sat down there. I don't think RRQ want to join them.
ये लोग का क्या डॉज करता है बे फ्लैश क्या डॉज करता है
हम लोग बच्चे नहीं खाता है
Now they've got pistols. You should be looking at a 9-7 scoreline.
ए ये ट्रिप का लगा
उसी में दे देते तेरा ये जो इंस्टा है ना उसी में देना शुरू कर कुछ नहीं होगा जो है उसी फ्लोर्स में दे 200-300 वाला है ना फ्लोर
Listen, plenty of people have fallen into that pit hole.
अभी जो भी अकाउंट है तेरा उसी में दे ऐसे शर्माने से नहीं होगा कि कौन क्या बोलेगा
Looking remarkable, the young gun, but you're getting diffed by Boaster. That's something that I think you'd
अरे नहीं तू रील देना चालू करना कोई तो देखेगा रील में आएगा ना नॉन फॉलोअर सब
was lacking a little bit individually. But we've seen that. The guy's got a lot of responsibilities. Right now, it seems like he's the brains and the brawn down on that stage.
ओए गया फंसा है वो
Taking the space once again. Spam not quite finding anything. Of course, there's not a whole lot to play with in this round, so it might be a chance for him to farm. He already has all.
Headshot.
I think the confidence far more valuable for Fnatic at this stage. They're duelists trying to get their way back into the game, and that's exactly what's happening in this one.
सेव रन था ना वो लोग का
With only 2
ओए दोस्तों तो मिलन किस नहीं जो
denying anybody swinging that planter.
19 हां मैं 29 किया था नहीं जो 29 किलो के लिए परसों
Damage. That's not a bad start, but Alfie a quick
अल्फा
easy round for Fnatic.
ये फैंटम बढ़िया है ये फैंटम बढ़िया है
They do give RRQ a lot of opportunities. A bunch of individual fights taken.
नहीं दे रहा है नहीं जीतने लग रहा है बाल जैसा ही लोग खाता है बाल
ज्यादा फैंटम ओनी फैंटम और रिकॉन फैंटम सबसे ज्यादा यूज होता है ना
हां रिकॉन उन्हें उसने रिकॉन है भाई रिकॉन फैंटम तो
बहुत यूज होता है रिकॉन
सबसे This is 4 in a row now on the attack side, but a 4-0 start we've seen it many times. Many times we've seen that team end with 4 or 5 rounds in the half. This is RRQ's chance to prove that it was just a hiccup. An early half upset.
The big thing for me is the operator.
अबे मैं तो गेम ही नहीं खेलता था
Side of Ascent, it was a massive game changer. That's where Jimkin really did the damage. Problem thus far. And a problem that, again, I still remember back to the beginning of the season.
Off play.
Fnatic played, I think it was versus Gentlemates. They love
window picker. Window picker.
अरे तीनों है
window picker.
ए बेंचो रंडी ये
अरे ये लेकिन ये प्रॉब्लम होता है स्मोक से निकल के स्कोप करके मारना
अरे
No longer there to work with, an Alpha gets the info on the back of it. Oh, crazy guy trying for the punish.
अबे यार थ्रो कर ले गए ये थ्रो कर रहा है यार क्यों अभी विंडो में देख रहा है बेंच देखा ये ऑफ वाला आदमी सबसे ज्यादा गंदा काम किया जेमकिन
खैर बूस्टर वाल खेल रहे थे
starting to look pretty damning for RRQ. The attack side looking stellar from Fnatic. It started with clutches, it started with individual.
क्राउच नहीं करना है क्राउच किया वो ये लोग का फैंटम से इतना लॉन्ग रेंज कैसे जाते हैं
ये उससे तो जाता नहीं
अरे हम लोग का जाता है तो 140 निकलता है भाई हम लोग का अच्छा जाता है
Ewok to try.
हम लोग नहीं निकलता क्या बेंच हम लोग
big changes because these last 5 rounds they started fairly close, but that one really wasn't.
Well, indeed, and we already saw that pause called earlier by RRQ. That course correction did not come into play, and now they're starting to drift out of this game. From a 13-10 in the previous, but they lost both pistols, and you start to see those.
भाई मैं बता रहा हूँ ओडिन शुरू कर दो तुम लोग
सही है
वरना नहीं होएगा वही तो भाई और भाई ये देख इसका आग देखो
Whether it's in clutches, whether it's in opening duels, the guy's been there every time.
अभी लोटस में ओडिन बहुत अच्छा है, पता ना, लोटस और कोरोड ओडिन में पे भाई, ओडिन में पे क्या ओडिन करता है भाई VCT भाई, क्या ओडिन करता है।
It's starting to look like they may need that extra time. As this defensive side from the map they chose, bear in mind, not looking good.
क्या पता अभी क्या कर रहे हैं।
Let's see if things change in the next round. Here it's Sheriff's.
एक को मार प्लीज, एक को मार।
The cam already spots Jemkin.
अबे जेट कांडो है, जेट भूसड़ी का मारा चुप।
बच गया वो।
Trying to cover his teammate.
मैं भी गाली कर सही में कर लेता हूँ पावर।
Grouping and hitting a site, it's the right call.
अरे ये राउंड ऐसे भी नहीं निकलता है, सेव राउंड है वो लोग का।
वो क्यों कोई सारा क्यों रे बाल देखा ना पा रीडिंग संजय हम तीन राउंड तो थोड़ी बहुत से पा आरा डिफेंस
में एक भी राउंड नहीं जीते।
वही तो डिफेंस में एक राउंड भी जीता नहीं है बाल।
Every single ultimate bar maybe the neural theft to be online.
देखा रे लोग डिफेंस बाल।
भाई तू लोग रेडिएंट तो शेरिफ से हेडशॉट देना, शेरिफ से भी हेडशॉट नहीं दे पा रहे लोग।
Who plants? Well, there you go. There's one. That's Chronicle's goal.
काहे का रेडिएंट भाई, काहे का रेडिएंट भाई, शेरिफ खेल रहे हैं हेडशॉट नहीं देते हैं।
He's always there to just sit passive with the shock darts and the
अरे उनका औकात के लोग के साथ खेल लेना, हम लोग को साथ खेलने से बड़ा से वो होता है लोग।
वही तो टीम के साथ खेलने से लोग शेरिफ से टप टप देगा।
आस्कर जेट ओ भाई उसको भेंचो में उसको मार चोट देता बाल।
वो मारा
तो ये निकल पाया ना मोटा सांड, टाइम निकल पाया ना, मजा आ जाएगा।
और एक को निकाल प्लीज, एक को निकाल,
एक को निकाल।
Going down to the spike is the correct play, but now back against the wall. It's been 6 straight rounds for Fnatic. A pause just called in the previous by RRQ. This is what they will have talked about. The rifle round has to be theirs.
Yeah, but again, you're going to have to break through all of those ultimates and sure they have some of their own, but...
Moniet! Hello, Moniet! Look at me again! Hello! Look at me again, bro! Oh, he's not. He gets scared.
He also has headphones on.
बाप रे बाप।
It would be worrying if he looked
I
up.
don't think he can hear you, but I
फिर से आप कर रहे हैं, फिर से आप कर रहे हैं।
really feeling it. Well, this time, Munyet's revenge.
कितना हगेगा भाई?
It's taken its toll. 4 rounds ahead. 6 in a row. And high impact.
भाई वो ऑफ ए पे लगाया पर ए पे कोई जा ही नहीं रहा।
Fnatic though are taking mid control. There's been a challenge in the last couple. Success hasn't been there.
जाओ गेम में लिखिए इसको, बैठ के चलो। अपन
walking it down on his own.
खत्म। हेलो फाइनस ठीक है।
क्या हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है?
निकाल दो क्लास है।
हाँ खत्म है। जी जी।
Soon to be a finish. For the attacking side, denied, but
विनेबल
to 7.
लोग का मैप था रे, लोग का मैप था, हाँ मादार चोट है तो।
The thing I love about that
जी जी भाई।
when Fnatic decide to throw in a set play. That's where you have the Rolling Thunder, the forces
आज
play.
दोनों में
We've seen
2-0
them
हुआ।
play on this close B box so many times. So Rolling Thunder forces them in, and that's why Boaster is running it down mid. Because if he knows if he gets in behind them here, they're going to be stunned up and being blown into.
बूस्टर का बीच में डाउनफॉल चल रहा था बे, अभी फिर से अच्छा हो गया।
That is a gorgeous set play from the side of Fnatic.
भाई नहीं हो लोग का।
सोसाइटी मार दे लोग।
भाई कुछ तो कर भाई, एक राउंड बस, एक राउंड निकाल देना और थोड़ा देखने का मन है। वही तो इतना जल्दी खत्म हो गया।
In the second half of this, it has been anything but. They were 7-5 down.
वही तो एबिस में डिफेंड में एक राउंड कैसे नहीं जीत सकता है? गया नाइफ टी।
Chances to do it. Kayak's deep dive. They see the cage. Oh, what a shot on the Jemkin.
ये फायदा है रे, इसमें अच्छा नहीं है, इसमें जेट अच्छा है कि नहीं?
Still alive, but now they know it. They know exactly where he is.
got both trips just blocking
Smoke
off
हट जाए
this
मजा आ
right-hand
जाएगा
side. They
Smoke
get
हट
to
जाए
be
मजा आ
broken.
जाएगा Tess
They now will be.
मार
At least the
चुप गया मार चुप किसी मार चुप
that could go flying off the map. But it in the end. Only two standing. Make that just one. Crazy guy.
अभी क्या बात कर रहा है crazy guy?
Finish and he will not live to tell the tale. Perfection for Fnatic on that attack side. Not a single round drop.
खट्टे खेल रहे ये आरआरक्यू का मैच था भाई आरआरक्यू का मैच था मतलब
और लीड में था भाई लीड में था
बहन जो जेट तो नहीं लेंडी का वाला जेट मार चुप देगा तुम्हें
चमकिन
साला और मुझे बात
They've stepped on the champion stage.
在巴黎全球冠军赛的看门红，而且
अच्छा
खाना हो
I'm Japanese
その後の入り方だってそうです。
ये लोग का बताइए एक्सपीरियंस सही होगा
The lower bracket.
Yeah. The fun thing as well is that this now sets Fnatic on a path to face off against Aspas once again. Where we're running it back, so that should be a very exciting upper bracket matchup. And honestly,
खेलो तुम दोनों मैं आ जाएगा थोड़ा पर क्या तो चलो
of a powerhouse like Fnatic, a team that has